Okay,
Okay, we are live on uh, YouTube now.
good. I got my pillow.
Oh, nice.
So,
Perfect. We are live. I can see us streaming on the other computer. Hello,
yo, what's up? What's up?
Guruji. Pranam. I have to go
Hariharan.
like this around the thing. Um, I hope audio is fine. There are a few people already watching. Thank you for coming, everyone who's here. Please drop in a comment if you are actually here or if you are one of my family members who has left the computer on. Which is what might happen. They will walk in and out, but they'll leave this on. I think that's the family support.
Yeah, let me just
Okay.
also sort this out. Otherwise, that's
Yeah.
where people come and go from. So,
There you go. You have family here already.
yeah, I do.
Kanak
I do.
Jyoti.
The
Kanak
one,
Jyoti is
two
here.
people. You might hear some fighting also with the two
Ah,
boys.
okay. Hello. Hi. All right. So, well, for me, YouTube is here just in case the viewers keep wondering why do I look this side. It's because Indraneel ji is here and YouTube is here. So,
Hello,
okay.
people.
Okay. I hope I am. Yeah, we're doing everything totally fine. Okay, let me try and do like a quick introduction, like an awkward one, because I'm not good at this. But yeah, I
You're a
want
bass
to.
player. I forgive you.
We're both paid players, and we will have equal amounts of trouble. Well, I will actually. You know what? I'll flip it, and at some point, I'll be like, "Please introduce yourself." But before that, I want to do one. So, Mr. Indraneel Hariharan. Actually, he is it's strange to say that to your face, but you, sir, are a legend. And I don't know. Yeah, it might be weird for you to hear it, but maybe you have heard it before. You
Good.
are one of those bass players and a composer, producer people who are just I don't know. It's nice to talk to you. It's just, and like you have done so much work that we're gonna get into right now.
I've done so much work because I've been around for a long time. So it's just nothing to do with anything. Just been
But
just around for a
you,
very long time.
But you're
That's
a
all.
super, actually, you're honestly a very nice, super kind human being to be with.
Yeah, that's
Guys,
thank
in
you
the
so much.
Hariharan,
Kind.
he was like sort of like one of those people I started. Like the moment I found out a bulb switch, I was like, follow this person very closely. Way back, maybe in somewhere around 2010, I do not remember. I was a kid. I used to run a bass player page on Facebook called Indian Bass Players. I put 30 guys together and I asked Mr. Indraneel Hariharan to come and mentor all of us for like 3 hours, just show us how to do things, how to get good. And he drives in his black Honda City, I think.
Yeah, I had
Just
that
at
one.
that time, I was like, cool. I want to be this guy.
Honda City, you're setting your expectations way down, man. Something like coming on
well,
or
well,
something.
for,
Yeah.
well, for a 18, 20-year-old kid or whatever, that was pretty cool. It was super cool just to kind of meet you in person. And that's when like sort of we opened like the can of one might be a negative word, but yeah, we opened a sort of like this thing where we got to know each other like a little bit. And since then I've been following you very closely, closer than maybe most people would like. But yeah, I would
Talking is making me feel very awkward. So
no,
it's
no,
like,
that's why introductions are introductions.
anyways, go
Yes,
ahead.
but it's just not me. You have fans and they may not be reaching out to you and telling you. Well, you actually have fans on your Facebook page who reach out to you and say there should be a word where we don't like, we love this page, you know? So you know that. But
I'm humble.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just but I mean, with all due respect to them, I don't take it that seriously. I know they have a lot of love and they've been following my work for a while,
yeah,
and
you sir have followers.
that's very.
And this is true, and a lot of people don't reach out to you. But if I mention you, like over the week there were a few people I said next week I'm gonna try and get Indraneel to be a part of the thing. They were all like, fucking awesome, like they're all like, this is exciting. And to be
It's very
honest,
humbling.
I
It's
got I
very
got
humbling.
I got more text and interaction from people I did not expect. They all jumped in, wrote comments, sent me messages. That was awesome.
Okay,
So
might have done something right, I guess. I know, I guess. I
you've
guess.
done quite a few things right. So
Chalo.
yes, so you hosted or helped me host that bass workshop, and you showed up. and you taught us, and that was the beginning of a very wonderful journey. Actually, guys, it's a very weird nostalgic trip, but if you go to Indian bass player bass freak, there are videos of me being a kid, Indraneel Hariharan being there teaching us some stuff, sitting there on the bass amp and playing the bass. And he was like, you were one of those people who were like, bass aise nahi aise rakhne ka hai, like flip it and put it and we were just like, oh my god, we have no etiquette, like, so like, but yeah, man, that was wonderful. I still am thankful to you for showing up that day, and we all ate pizza in the end, and it was
I
awesome.
practice what I preach. You see that
Yeah,
bass,
exactly. Is that a
the
new
guitar?
bass? I see a
No,
box.
no, it's
Oh,
the
well,
Warwick. I don't have too many basses. I've got more guitars than basses actually.
we-
To be very honest.
really? Okay. Let's get into that. We have a fretless, and it's on my list of things to talk about. It's shown up in a lot of your work recently, and even last couple of years, like fretless bass in advertising. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been using the fretless bass in
Yeah,
advertising for a
there's
very
a
long
quote
time.
of you.
Some
So yeah, so
really
let me just finish my awkward introduction, and then
sorry, sorry.
I'm
Oops.
just like, we'll get into all these. This is giving me juicy details to talk about. But the founder of Mrigya here, were you one of the founders, or were you the
Yes, I
person
was
you co-founder, or you just started the whole
co-founder,
band yourself?
co-founder. Not just me. It
Who did you
was
start it with? Uh, who was
basically
the member?
Sharat, myself,
Okay,
Gyan, and Rajat together. We were
legend.
from Parikrama. We were
Yeah,
on the street. It's sort of a bit of a rivalry there at that
yeah.
time with all these bands. So I
So yeah.
mean, it's a long story. So you want to carry on finishing up your introduction, then I'll carry on these stories
Uh,
along.
so yeah, so founder, co-founder of Mrigya. I know that this is amazing. We can talk about this. So
Yeah,
there's Mrigya. We have to touch that, but I want to get into stuff before Mrigya as well. And
yeah.
like, how did you get your first instrument? Let's get into it in a second. But then you've gone through. You still play for Mrigya. You are a showman. In fact, you almost take over the stage for like 5 minutes, and you do a whole interactive thing, which is more than just a bass solo. I've seen those things on YouTube, where in fact I was there at one of the Sark shows. I think I was there, and you get the crowd to sing along. That's the stuff, and one of the early few pioneers to actually start doing that in India, maybe. Let's get into it. Lots of technique involved and musicality and everything, but then Mrigya is going on, but you're also producing film and advertising music on the side. You're turning your composer.
That's my day job.
Yeah, that's your day job,
That's
right?
my day job.
And I didn't know much about this whole thing the whole time. I'm just starting to get into it, so lots to explore there. How does this start? Whatnot. So film composition, advertising. I don't know, radio stuff. Jingles are
Yeah,
happening.
lots of radio. I've done a lot of radio as well.
God
One,
knows what year you started that. So we're gonna cover this, and then eventually you moved to Bombay at some point. We're in touch actually at that time. I'm
yeah,
moving to
just about
Bombay. You're moving to
2016 is when I moved to Mumbai. So
yeah. I moved around 17. We touch base there.
yeah,
I connect you to my friends, you connect me to your friends. Obviously, your friends are sweeter, but
I know, man. It's just I've been
but
lucky.
yeah, I think Gavin and Varun are watching this. Maybe they have a link and they said,
Oh, sweet,
yeah,
sweet guys, really nice. I mean,
exactly. So Bombay happened, and then now this is happening, the lockdown. So so we'll cover
yeah.
until 73. Were you? Is that why every page is 73?
I was born in
Yeah.
1973.
So
Yeah, man.
73 till lockdown, and then what to look forward to in the future if there's release.
73 to COVID. It's like
Yeah,
that's my lifespan so
we will
far.
cover 73 to COVID, and then we will cover what can we do or what you're up to. Maybe you have something music brewing. If you don't have music brewing, we will push you to brew some music for
Oh, no,
us
music is
because
always brewing, man. I mean, that's something.
yeah, yeah. So exactly. I know you're so creative. We're gonna talk about the Nokia acapella thing. We're gonna get into things. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So guys, that was like a Varun Kapahi style messy introduction. But can I play Land of My Ancestors and then we get into the conversation?
Up to you, man. It's your
Do I
show.
have permission? Okay, cool. Perfect, guys. So I'm going to play a song. You have one more person from your family. Thank you for commenting.
Who's that? Isn't that
That's
Stan?
Poonam.
That's Poonam.
Poonam G is here.
All right. Hello.
Okay, so let's see. Let me do this in a very professional manner and switch screens like a ninja. But let's see. Let's find out
Yeah,
how.
my wife's watching. Be careful.
Yeah, okay. I'm playing Land of Ancestors and Ancestors, Land of My Ancestors by Indraneel Hariharan. That's a tune that is actually beautiful. Is it okay if I play the first couple of minutes and then we jump back?
Yeah, it's a long bass solo. Yeah.
It's pretty beautiful. It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
And you shot
So,
it and everything. I think your drummer helped you with it and stuff.
my drummer Shiraz Bhattacharya, who's Pentagram's drummer and a phenomenal director, DP, and
Wow.
legend in his own right. Again, Superman. So yeah, he played the
Shout out.
drums, shot it, and he directed it also. So that's my introduction to the video. And he was like, I'm like, let's shoot it somewhere here. कहता है, "ले, Ladakh चलते हैं ना." मैंने कहा,
अरे
पता है, he books the ticket and we are in Ladakh in 3 days. And he's like, let's go.
man. So
That's
let's just that is actually
Shiraz.
wow. That, man,
Yeah,
gotta have stories like these. This is what's inspiring. Okay,
that's pretty
I'm gonna
mad the
share.
story. Yeah. So yeah,
I'm
and
gonna
you got the
share.
Chinese like a few kilometers away right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
where we shot.
Gotta have friends like these, you know.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and
go
play.
for it.
Let's do this. And I hope we are streaming audio.
Yeah, I can see it.
Guys, if you can hear the audio of the music, please type a comment. I'll fix it if it's not playing. Are we back?
Yep, we're back.
I'm trying to play it like a DJ. I'm smoothing the fade out. I don't know if that's happening
Yeah.
on the stream, but yeah. I've also lost my own window. I don't know it's you now. So like I pressed some button and then we're figuring out. I got
Back
this.
from Ladakh into Navi Mumbai now.
Back into Navi Mumbai. We can go to the clouds, but some settings didn't work.
Yeah, I was trying to get into a nice beach with like a cool location at the back. But oops, I think the internet has frozen.
Okay.
Oh, you're back. You're back. There was a little bit of a glitch happening there.
Yeah, I was this is the first time we are doing this thing, and
Yeah.
it is unstable. I hope we are still okay. That was a beautiful tune. Is that one of your early tunes with a fretless bass broadcast like proper with you had one digital going like
Yeah, I mean, One Digital was there, but
at the
this
how,
was
yeah, sorry, go
so
on.
it had Vibha also singing
Yeah.
Hindustani classical. That was in fact one of the first recordings.
Wow.
So she had come to the studio and she had sung that. And but before that, I was messing around with my fretless, and I had my it was plugged into my Logic. So I just came up with this tune in about 20-25 minutes.
Sweet.
And then I'm like, hey, it's not bad. Let's just put drums, and then I added. So the chords were also the fretless. It's fretless. Bass was fretless. The
Yeah.
main melody was the fretless with an octaver on top. I
Mhm.
like using the octaver because
Nice.
when you're playing top notes, sometimes it's good to make it give it that top end. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it can sound very floppy and it's nice to have that the
Yeah.
highs. Make it
Machine. Yeah. Which
yeah,
which octave do you like using?
which one? Which
Which
octave?
octave? Yeah.
In this particular one, I was using the Logic's
Okay.
pitch octaver, but live I have the PS6. That's the only
Sweet.
outboard effects I use. So that's where I used to scat and I play the stuff. So it sounds like a guitar bass and a scat fusion.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Um,
heard that live. It sounds pretty good. Works well.
yeah, so that's something which I've been doing for quite a while now, and uh,
It's
I mean,
almost your sound. I think it's your sound now as a solo sound. You know.
it is, yeah, because though I wish I could scat a little in tune because sometimes when I play some cool stuff because of my bad singing, it sounds weird. But yeah, I'm working on
I think
that. So, uh,
that's you being very modest. I've heard bits of your singing. It's never out of tune, to be honest.
I
Like,
always tell my sound engineer, volume, reduce my volume, my vocal volume down. This, because I sing it more than I see it. I sing it and I play it. So it just
yeah,
helps me vocalize. I'm not a very like a you know fretboard flash choppy kind of a bass player. At least I'm not anymore. You're getting older. You realize that music is more important, not the instrument or the technique. It's just what you're putting out there as a musician. And I think you've frozen again. Hello. Can you guys hear me? All right. I think Varun, we've gone online or offline or something. Oopsie. Varun is gone offline, so I am the host now. Is it? Hey Varun,
Hi, I think we lost it.
we lost internet.
Yeah, have I frozen up for you?
So what do I do?
No, I'm just asking you. Your internet is working fine, right? I'm going to my neighbor's Wi-Fi to check what's up.
Oh, okay, yeah. So why don't you use your phone? So we've lost the stream. I hope people don't go away.
Yeah, that's what. I am coming back online, but I'm trying to get onto a good Wi-Fi.
Use your phone Wi-Fi, no?
Yeah. I'm trying. 1 second. Actually, yeah, I have to use my phone, I think.
Yeah, use that. Use your
I'll
phone.
just join back.
Yeah, join back. I'm online waiting.
Hi.
Yes,
Okay. I hope this is streaming. I lost my internet, so now I'm trying to get back on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Okay. Let's check. I'm just checking if the streaming is still working. It says it's working.
Okay, but I can't see you.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Thank you.
Ah, there you are.
There you go. Okay. I'm on the phone now. I hope we survive this session. This is the first time. So, I have a friend. His name is Saurabh Suman,
Yeah,
and
I know, Saurabh, of course.
he told me things go wrong when we do podcasts. So like, this is the first
Yeah.
time I'm losing my internet. I'm hoping we're back. We're online and everything is
Yet
okay.
your phone internet is not bad actually. Surprisingly, they usually it might be
Yeah,
not of excellent quality, but sometimes it gets the job done. And moral
I'm,
of the
I'm,
story.
yeah, but I'm not able to check if we're still streaming. So I'm just checking about that. But it's okay. I think we should be okay. I'm still trying to find out.
So you
Sorry sorry
so
for this.
you have the YouTube link. Let me just go check whether it's streaming or not.
Yeah. I'm checking that
And,
myself. Yeah.
otherwise, anybody who's watching, this is super fun. I'm sure.
Yeah, they might just all be like, "Chalo, chai pi ke aate hain."
चाय पी के आते हैं हाँ जी.
Yeah. I'm now going, like, I have couple of my neighbors. I have all of their Wi-Fi passwords just for this stream.
Super man. You
So
gotta
okay,
make.
we're on. We're on. It's streaming. It's
Oh
streaming.
yes.
I will not be able to do the gadgetry stuff, but that's okay.
Oh, it's
Uh,
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
it's there.
and
It's right there. I can see myself.
perfect.
We are streaming.
We are streaming. I'm just this way, so I'll flip my phone, and we might fix it.
Great.
Okay, back online after this.
रुकावट
Yeah, after the interruption, I'm so sorry, everyone. I lost my
के लिए रवेद है.
रुकावट के लिए खेद है.
रवेद है.
Raved means.
अरे when bad
Perfect.
joke. खेद
Okay.
is her, right? So
Alright.
when we were little kids, we used to read it as Raved hai in Doordarshan. Sorry, it's a different era altogether. So Ka would be Ra and Va, right? So Raved hai. Really bad joke. Sorry.
But you know what? Like, the thing is that I'm glad we didn't lose people. There are people here. They're saying they can see us, and I'm. Thank
There
you
are two
for
people
holding.
from your family, two people from my family. That's great.
Well, there's more people. There's more people. It's good. This is good. Okay, so let's just go to the beginning, and when if my computer comes in, I'll go back there. So let's go to the beginning. What was your first musical instrument you experienced
Oh, okay.
that you would remember or you would want to talk about?
I was at a very early age. I could pick up any of the instruments and start playing something on it. I mean, because more than I sometimes remember. So I would visit my, my mom's relatives, my masis, and my nani's house. They would have one tabla or one harmonium. I would remember
Wow.
that, but then the proper instrument which I actually played, first proper instrument I could play like a legible melody and play. I think I was 4 or 5 years old. I don't remember. Was the harmonica. I still play it on my jingles and my stuff. In fact, I played one for Euphoria also. I played the
And that
harmonica.
is not a very linear instrument to get do re mi fa out of,
Actually, it's a very linear instrument to get do re
It's
mi
very
fa.
linear. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe
Yeah,
out.
breathe in, breathe out. Yeah, it's
Uh,
not right, left, right? Like, as in
it's
breathe
left
in,
to right, so it's
left
linked.
to right. Yeah.
It's like it's a in a
Wow.
way, yeah. So that was something which came very naturally because my younger mama had one, and my chacha also had one, and my dad's elder brother also had one. So everybody
Wow.
was playing harmonica around the place, and I was like, hey, this is cool. So I would just go and pick up something, and I guess it was there. Both sides of the family are quite musical in the sense. None of them are professional musicians,
Right.
bankers and doctors and engineers, but very strong musical. They had musical sense, I
Uh,
guess.
like a taste in music, and if some family members can sing in tune, it
Oh,
really helps. Like, good
they
music
could
playing
sing.
in the
They could
house.
sing, not just in tune. They could sing. They could sing very well, and they could play the instruments. They could critique music pretty well.
Wow.
So definitely from my father's family and my mother's family, of course, yes, but my also from my father's family, they have very strong sense of
Wow.
music. So
That is that
Carnatic
is
and Western classical and rock
yeah.
and Hindustani classical this side.
He um
So
was
yeah,
there.
harmonica was the first proper instrument I would play. I would give shows like in school. Sometimes, hey, this kid can play, so they would go and play something on the harmonica for all the rest of the kids.
Wow.
Uh, then I would sing a
Was
lot.
there was there like a school band or something like that?
No, the school band happened much later. My father's from the Indian Air Force, so we would change schools very
Right.
often. Just when you're about to, just settling down, it's a year and a half, and then like, hey, posting aa gaya, chalo Desh, some other part of the country. But then you would just it was a good way to make friends. Music was a good way to make friends. You could sing. I would sing a lot. I was singing in the choir. I would sing,
Nice.
and I would play harmonica. But my final school was Air Force Golden Jubilee Institute in Subrata Park. There I was a part of a music group. So I was playing the congas.
Wow.
Play the percussion. So I really loved playing percussions. My dad and I, when we were little kids, we would jam on the table and play the
Nice.
percussion. So my younger son has taken the percussion bit a little too.
Oh yeah, he's heavy on it, right?
He's a prodigy, tabla prodigy. So, but yeah,
Definitely.
I was a table prodigy. I used to play the table during. So we would
Wow.
do all that, and the harmonica, and I started playing congas for about 5 years, 4 years at 8 to 12. Yeah, 4 years I played the congas, and I would play the harmonica. I would sing in the choir. Also get into, managing the choir and managing the sort of, telling the band, like being a part of the gang to, aise karte hain, aise karte hain. We had a very good music teacher who would give us sort of managerial roles on music.
Wow. So you're almost like arranging the gig in
I
musically and otherwise.
I was not really arranging, but I was a part of the arrangement process.
Process. Yeah,
My
yeah,
teacher
yeah.
would say, "Ki hum log aise karna." I would observe that very carefully and found that extremely interesting. And my teacher, obviously the music teacher in my school, his name was Mr. Mahesh Bulwani. He's now migrated to Calendar and teaches there. He could play the sitar, he could play the tabla, he could sing very well, he could play the harmonium. He was again a multi-instrumentalist and a great singer. So that was quite inspiring to watch. And yeah, so that left an impact. But even then, I mean, I wanted to be a genetic scientist or a doctor or something.
Really?
I didn't want to be a musician as such. I'm talking about 1989, 88, 89, it was class 10, 11. I passed out in 91. So at that point of time, there was no internet. There were telephones. There were no smartphones. Like a
Yeah.
phone, smartphones, mobile phones. So we had to really. It was a very different world then, and your exposure was only dependent on how far were you willing to go to get that information. Nowadays, information is the information overload is so much. You need to sit down
Yeah.
and filter that.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch all this. I only want. But in those days, there was nothing around you. You could
Now
just
you're
sit at
flooded
one
with
place.
the information and you have to avoid getting overwhelmed,
Yeah, the information is so overwhelming, and at the same time, it can take you off your focus at times, and it can become
Definitely.
very distracting. But in those days, if somebody had the good part here, like I would say again, my younger son, he made use of it. YouTube at the age of 4, 5, would just go onto YouTube and watch Alara Khan, Zakir Hussain, and Ahmed Jan Tera and he just as a 4-year-old kid taking all that information in. It was amazing. I mean, I wish we had that when we were young. So the good and the bad is there. So it's just how you use it. So I feel that people nowadays are a lot more privileged. We didn't know
Definitely.
what a slap bass was till somebody actually came up there and like bing bing, and you're like, oh, what is that? Yeah.
You
Now,
were one of those people that I saw in front of my eyes. Although I'm a 90s kid and we met in 2010-ish, 8 to 12 somewhere we met. In my front of my eyes, you, Brennan, were the few people that I saw. Oh, this is how it sounds. This is how it looks. It was always like,
yeah. So for me, like Brennan is senior to me. So for me, it was Brennan, of course.
yeah,
So Brennan was phenomenal, still is a phenomenal
yeah,
musician,
definitely.
phenomenal bass player, and he would do all those crazy solos and Jacko work and all that stuff, and we would like, "Ye kya baja raha hai yaar?" So all of us, Carl Peters was there. So
Definitely.
I mean, the bass player first, Lou Hilt, Carl Peters, they are people we looked up to. Some really cool stuff happening, and musically, they were so. It was not about chops. They were doing this stuff, but it was so musical. It was
So you
good to
were,
hear them.
yeah, exactly. And you were a multi-instrumentalist from a young age who had developed some kind of ear to recognize these things, like to know that Carl Peters is a good bass player at an early age takes a certain maturity of ear and musical
I mean,
sense.
no, man, he's brilliant. Anybody would see him and say, hey, this guy's damn good.
But
Carl was.
to know bass playing at 10, understanding that's an instrument, it is a beautiful
Not
thing.
10, not 10. I'll tell you. So I started off very late. As a bass player, I started off, I didn't even know what a bass was till
Right.
I was 16, 17. Because But I used to always like that sound. Hey, what's that sound? I mean, I might be divulging, but when you
It's
hear
good.
Michael Jackson's "Beat It" and all that stuff, the rhythm is being driven by the bass.
Right.
I don't know. Was it Louis Johnson who was playing for Quincy Jones at that point of time? I don't know. For most of the Michael Jackson recordings, or top session cats. Then I don't remember who the bass player for Wham was. "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go."
Yeah.
It's a very when we were kids, that was like a teeny bopper song. "Wake me up before you
Yeah.
go." But if you even now as a professional bass player and a serious bass enthusiast, if you try and transcribe
Yeah.
the "Wake Me Up Before You Go" bass line, it was insane. I don't know what he was doing. It was just it's an institution of bass playing, that particular. So I was like, "Ye kya hai?"
Definitely. We have one more bass player. We have Saurabh Suman saying hello, and he's saying from the School of Bass channel, he's coming in and saying, "Thank you for being such an inspiration, Neil."
Hey, Saurabh, coming from Saurabh, it's really nice and very humbling. He's an amazing bass player himself. In fact, I tried picking up his bass and playing something. There were too many strings for me, and I'm like, "Wait, kya karu?"
The Sukop, right? The Sukop is, yeah, it's a whole temple in itself.
Beautiful
Yeah,
bass. It took
beautiful
me some time
bass.
to figure out what was happening. But thank you, Saurabh, and you guys are like killing it, man. So it's been
So
amazing to watch you
Saurabh
guys.
is on to something. So yeah, Louis Johnson did play in. He played for Billie Jean, I think, and Dion Estes. That's the bass player for
Oh, Wham!
Wake Me Up, Wham.
Yes,
Yeah,
Dion Estes. Yes,
and
yes.
and Cake and all. These guys had some amazing songs, and they had bass lines. Like
And of course, Beatles, Paul
yeah,
McCartney was doing that
definitely.
thing, that lefty off-ner bass, and it's like an independent thing. Sting was doing stuff. Prince, God damn it. I mean, you can just name a plethora of people, and it didn't have to be just jazz, or it was pop, rock, everybody. I mean, from Lemmy to Steve Harris was a huge influence at the same time. I was with a band called Clandestine at that particular point of time. Ban from Orange Street. We formed a
Yeah,
band together. And there's Rishi Sachdev, who's now Syncopation.
syncopation. Yeah,
So we were the first bandmates. Rishi, in
shout
fact,
out
taught
to
me how to
yeah.
play the
Wow,
first couple of notes on the bass.
that's
Tu bass
legendary
baja,
bandmates.
tu bass baja, because I was like, I lost a toss. So the loser gets to play the bass.
Really?
Yeah, I was saying, Bang like buzz off. So
How old were you then?
we were 17, 18, I guess, first year
Wow.
college. So
And
it
Delhi?
all
Is this
started.
Delhi? Are you in
Delhi,
Delhi by now?
Deshbandhu College, man. First year, this is
Oh,
where it all started. And Deshbandhu had a legendary guitar player who just passed out with a senior, Saib Al Basu.
oh my God.
So he would walk into the college and everybody would like, what's up? God is here, and Saib, brilliant.
Definitely.
So
And Deshbandhu has a beautiful ground. Like I have played that. It has a
uh,
big
I
space
played
and they
there.
set up a stage. I'm sure they had festivals back in the day as
So
well.
there were two grounds. There's a ground inside and there's a ground
Yeah,
outside. The outside one
outside. Yeah,
is
yeah,
massive.
massive. And you're right in the middle of Sia Park. You're surrounded by other
Yeah, I was
talented people.
surrounded with all the Bengalis with their intellectualism and leftist ideology and Hamra, Pink Floyd, Shuni. It's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Banu's also he's from Kalkaji.
yeah,
I end
definitely.
up there are a lot of friends from CR Park. Saibal used to live in CR Park
So,
then.
yeah, exactly. Great place to be. I'm sure at that time. Great.
Culturally, very
Yeah, culturally. Yeah.
very
Sweet.
advanced. CR Park they had a lot of people who were into music, and they would come for gigs and they would hang out with us. And not only that, there were friends who would not be musicians per se, but they would introduce you to a lot of new music.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to hear this? You want to hear that? You must check this out. Iron Butterfly, Uriah Heep. Yeah. So and but those days for me, it was a lot of Zeppelin. When I was just starting out, it was a lot of Led Zeppelin. John Paul Jones was like I was trying and hear out all that stuff. Trying to play John Paul Jones's lines, getting that whole nice thumpy bass sound, which would really drive the band. So I
Led
still am a big fan of
Led
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin definitely was one of the pioneers of like
Just
that era of virtuosity, like in terms of songwriting, and they took things production, in fact.
production, everything. There was this energy. I could never never dissect music the way people do these days. For me, it was the vibe and the energy. It could be a Wham song, and the second song on my playlist would be a Led Zeppelin. It didn't
Yeah.
matter, I would only listen to rock, and I would only listen to pop, and would like infra dig to listen to Madonna. When I tell somebody Madonna, I think Dave Weckl played Like a Virgin. That was the first hit. He was a session guy. So dude,
Yeah.
it's music at the end of the day. I would take a lot of those influences. Of course, the
So
so-called complicated jazzy form of music came much later at
right.
Saibal's house.
Influence.
That happened when I heard Tribal Tech, Big Wave.
Wow. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I heard,
Gary Willis.
I was like, and I was like, it was like किसी ने घुमा के थप्पड़ मारा. So ये क्या था? You're listening to way down inside, and then big. Oh, sorry, I got excited, so my thing just came
Agar,
back.
Agar, yeah, I lost you for a second. Yeah, yeah. Agar, see, if we don't get excited and clip the input meter, we didn't play a song. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I still get goosebumps, and I still listen
exactly.
to Big Wave. That opened that whole tribal tech world to me, and then from there was a lot of other stuff. But first time I heard was Gary Willis, Scott Henderson, that Kirk Covington at that time,
Yeah.
and Scott Kinsey, and like monsters. Parallelly, I was staying as a PG somewhere, and in the same building there was a senior advertising bhaiya. We used to call him Kunalda. I don't know if he's there. He's there on Facebook also. He
Shout
was
out
like,
to Kunal.
he had Jaco Pastorius LP.
Oh my God.
LP. He was a collector of LP records, and he
Wow.
had Heavy Feather. He had what is that? Barbary Coast. No, I think so he had a whole weather reports
Yeah.
LP collection, and he had Jaco's solo LP.
Solo stuff. Yeah.
So he was like, listen to this. And I was like, with all due respect to Steve Harris and John Paul Jones, bro, this is what I want. So,
yeah, I mean, once you land with something like Tribal Tech and Weather Report, then it's like
you've fallen. You've risen, not fallen.
You need your brain to develop another brain, and you need your hands to have more fingers. You almost think this can't be done, like.
Correct. So I was listening to Toto and Dave's Gone seeing Mrigya. Orange Street tried that Dave's Gone Skiing by Toto, which had that. So of course, Toto had a lot of these jazz elements to their music. So we were already sort of exploring that form subtly through some jazzy, rocky kind of. But when that Jaco Pastorius and Weather Report and Tribal Tech with these two bands just completely, I'm like, that is something I really want to do. I'm still figuring out how to do that. So,
it's a lifetime of study, like it's intense harmony and intense rhythm. Like it's not a joke.
That's when you realize the more you dig deeper, the more you realize you know nothing. It's just you open one door and then 100 doors open, like to open more. It's right there.
Yeah.
Again, you open one more. It's just endless. But
and
then Mrigya happened.
Yeah. So then Indian music was already going on in your life, understanding some Carnatic, some Hindustani.
Yeah, because my family, my mom would
sing right?
Sangeet. My dad loved Indian classical music. But my dad was the first person who gave me an Elvis Presley CD as well, tape as well. So my dad was like, okay, what kind of rock is that? We used to listen to this, So he's like, hey, take this Elvis. I discovered Elvis through my dad. My dad would have Elvis, Carpenters, and the older 70s country kind of music and stuff like that. So Cliff Richard and Harry Belafonte. So that was from my father, Jim Reeves, Pat Boone. So I would listen to that throughout. I would know the songs by heart. At the same time, my mother would then change the LP player to LP player. Those when we were kids was 70s, 80s was pretty hi-fi. It was pretty normal. So she would put on Rabindra Sangeet, then she would put on Pankaj Malik, Hemanto, and then of course Hindi film songs, the R.D. Burman, Salil Chaudhary, S.D. Burman. I was just in this whole thing. So for me, I don't have a problem. I don't have very strong likes or dislikes. I mean, anything that sounds good for me is good. I mean, I there are people who have strong likes and dislikes, I know, and they really troll other people for a lot of things. But I believe music is all about love and being inclusive. As an artist, everybody's trying to express something.
Right.
Some people might not have the technical virtuosity, or sometimes you do not even need the technical virtuosity to express what you want to say.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be. It's okay to be simple. It's also okay to be complicated as you want, because that's what you want to do. That's freedom. There is no dictatorship ki nahi yahi hona chahiye,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's freedom of expression. It's okay. It should sound good, even if it doesn't sound good. It's okay. That's what you want to do,
And again, sounds good to who, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's subjective. It's relative. Being in advertising, you would know.
Exactly.
What it is,
And
so subjective. When you create a piece and the client, agency says that ये क्या है, हटाओ उसको, या agency client को समझ में नहीं आया, I put a dominant 7 chord there, you can
yeah, exactly.
It's okay. It's all very subjective. It's just about. That's what I'm saying. I put again putting everything together. For me, advertising is a day job, right?
Yeah.
Because that's something I create for somebody
others.
else.
Yeah.
For others. I'm a craftsman there. I'm not really an artist. So I call it craft.
Nice.
So as an artist, you're supposed to be free. Okay.
So,
there is no brief. There is no pleasing anybody. There is no external, what do you call that? Box. External stimulus, yes, it's your inspiration or whatever, but it is free. It is what you want to do and what you want to say without any coercion or whatever it is. That's art. Craft is, okay, you can play the bass. Now play this for me and play it well, so that I might use it for some purpose, and here is your money. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So I would say, as long as we keep that separate within ourselves, ki this is my craft. My craft gets me the money and the food on the table. This is what I do, and I'll be extremely honest and good at it. I will try and hone my craft and my skills to a level where people, I'm able to command a fair price.
Yeah.
But art mein, it's again very important for you as an artist to not think, "Yare log kya sochenge?"
Yeah.
So you have to switch between these two mindsets. I've seen a lot of people, and I myself, let's not talk about other people. Let's say I myself have been tempted at times when I'm creating my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should do it like this. People might like this line better than that, or maybe even like this melody better than that. It's important to say and ask, talk to yourself and say, look, dude, this is your work. This is you. What is it that you like? What is it that you want to say? Put it out there.
Intense, yeah.
Because you're not really doing it for just money or fame or recognition. It's not a part of a plan. Art is very spontaneous. It's natural. It's happening. It's raw. It's organic. That's art. The rest of it is craft.
True. Yeah,
that's my personal. It's a very personal.
It's actually very true. And a craft is like you playing bass for someone else's box, and now when you're making art, you're coloring your own page. And maybe the advertising is the director's box. It needs
many layers,
right?
Even the director is working in a box. He's working which has been created by an agency person who has actually got a brief.
Exactly.
So mandate. So it's all cool. It's all cool. Everybody's doing their bit. It's thank God you're doing that rather than doing some other stupid thing which you don't enjoy. So maybe you're enjoying creating music. Somebody in the advertising agency enjoying writing a script. He's getting to do that. So it's, in a way, it's much better than doing a lot of other things which you don't like. I know a lot of people making a lot of money and they're like, we don't like what we do. There are people like that also. So
Yeah.
let's just thank our stars. Ki, haan, theek hai. This is also nice. It's better.
There are people who play gigs that they don't like playing, so it happens. And
That's again another.
yeah,
But theek hai, it's a
it
balance. So
happens.
as long as so
Yeah.
my way of say coming to terms with this is like, hey, this is a craft. This is the craft part of my life, and this is the
Right.
artist in me. So what does the artist do, and what does the craftsman do? So
One
as long
needs
as
to keep
you're,
the other alive, I think, right? I mean,
you need both, man.
yeah, you need both.
You
Otherwise,
can't create art in an empty stomach and an insecure mindset, seeing कि अरे यार पैसा कहाँ से आएगा अब अगला rent देना and all. Then you will not say
yeah,
अरे let me just be inspired by the chirping of a bird and create a symphony. When you're
symphony. Yeah.
hungry or when you're like, hey, the landlord is like मेरा rent किधर है types. So
It's
you
hard
know,
to do that. It's hard to. You can create a symphony around the chirping of a bird if you slept and you're not hungry. You have a roof.
exactly. If
You
your
know.
mind needs to be free.
Yeah. So definitely, man. Exactly. I actually really resonate with that. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast. It's to put things in perspective. You know.
There's
Like,
one more perspective to this. Again, like
yes, please go on.
see,
Yes.
whatever we speak, it's very personal, and I'm
It's
I'm
very
not
personal.
very
Definitely.
personal because it's so individual. One more perspective is that you're going through a lot of hell, and then when you start expressing that also is art. So when you're going
It
through your
is. Yeah.
struggles and trials and tribulations, and you try and taking that out in some kind of an expression using your craft, that also becomes art. Like if you're going through a struggle, a lot of people. I mean, I was watching this old movie called the Immortal one. That's about Beethoven's secret love for his brother's wife, actually. They
Wow.
didn't know that they had a scene like that for so many years, and after he died they find out. So all through his years he was going through that struggle of his being deaf and he being in love with somebody who, and his love not being reciprocated I mean socially there's a lot of complications. So
Wow.
all those things, and he explained, in that he's trying to explain, this is a note to a lover trying to reach his beloved, and but the carriage is stuck, and what is going on in
Mm-hmm.
his mind at that particular point of time. So this is the symphony. This is what it says.
Wow.
So yeah, there's so many things. Like, I mean, it happens to all of us. I'm sure it happens to you. You express your joys as well as your sorrows, as well as your mixed feelings.
Definitely.
You are an extension. Your art is an extension of you.
Definitely talking about what is the deepest inside of you through music is best catharsis possible. If you can
Absolutely.
express yourself, if it can come to fruition, like I think the best music ever was probably written from that perspective, from that pain and anguish as well.
Yeah.
I am now committing to the phone. I was trying to get on the Wi-Fi the whole time.
Oh, the
but
phone
now-
is nice. It's nice. It's great.
Yeah, I'm committed. No, I want to play some of your ads, but can't right now from the phone. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So what I want to ask you about is let's go back to Kunal. Was he the one who introduced you to advertising, or how did that?
No. He was working in advertising at that point of time, but I never thought of. So
Okay.
advertising happened with Saibal and Shivani Kashyap. I sang from harmonies. The first time I went into the studio was to do backup harmonies for Shivani Kashyap.
Sweet.
I was playing bass, but clandestine Orange Street. That time Orange Street just happened. Clandestine sort of disbanded, and clandestine sort of became Orange Street because Ban and I there, and Saibal had joined, and I mean Saibal, Ban, myself, Ashwini, Varma.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went in the studio.
Sid Mathur is here. We need to give him a shout out.
Yeah, Sid, what's up? Yeah, I mean,
Sid is here, and Saurabh is saying when Richard Bona heard Jaco for the first time, he thought the record was spinning faster.
And that's what happened to me when I heard Richard Bona for the first time.
I think Richard Bona must have been like, "Aisa awaaz aana chahiye." So like
there was this particular track on which Richard Bona was playing for Joe Zawinul. Zawinul Syndicate, because Joe Zawinul was responsible for getting all these guys, a lot of these African maestros from out there, and Bona actually was bass playing for I forget the name of the track. He was playing a Fudera at that point of time. Insane bass playing, man. Like so, like हाथ को ऐसे चाबी लगा के छोड़ दो, right hand was left hand, perfect. Yeah, it was and Paco Seri on the drums, and they were just It was
Okay.
just Bona and Siri and Manola Batra and mad. So
Don't want to go back to that. Let's not digress.
yeah, let's try it.
Let's come to work. How did work happen? So you are in
So
Mrigya, that's
yeah,
going on. You do the
uh,
session for Shibani Kashyap, a vocal session where you're doing
backup
harmonies.
vocals. Then from there, I was because Saibal was used to do a lot of work for advertising. So Shivani also used to do a lot of advertising work. I'm sure they're still doing it. So I went
Yeah.
to the studio with them. That's where I met people like Jaideep Sahani, Shantanu Moitra. I met. So
Wow.
then what happened was slowly I started. I said, okay, I'll play bass for a track. So Shantanu said, play bass for a track for one track, some advertising. Something happened. I met Daniel B. George. All these guys who before they came to Bombay, they were in Delhi. So there was a lot of work happening for Pradeep Sarkar at that point of time. Shantanu should do a lot of music for them. So a few ads, I've done some backing vocals. Shantanu was doing music for Shibani. So one fine day, he's like, come play bass for this track. And then
Wow.
I played bass for him. And parallelly, even Orange Street had happened. Orange
Yeah,
Street.
yeah.
Saibal was like also very instrumental in introducing me to a lot of people.
Wow.
Then one fine day, when I used to see Shantanu Moitra explain a lot of stuff to people, when advertising happened and doing this. And when I looked at him, with all due respect, I'm like, "Ye to main bhi kar sakta hu."
Yeah, exactly.
So, it's not bad. 30 seconds,
Sweet.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I can create a 30-second piece, not a big deal, Like, I can pick up
Yeah.
a guitar, utne chords to aata hi hai. बजा लेता हूँ, कोई
Okay.
problem नहीं है.
Right
Keyboard
on.
भी, then I said I want to get myself a workstation.
Right.
Those days, no laptops. You have those
Yeah.
big ass keyboards to do your stuff.
Yeah.
So I asked my dad, and he bought me my first Core Gain 364, which is like
Sweet.
a sequencer and stuff. And I could only switch it on and watch the lights blinking on it and like, so karna kya types. So Ashwini taught me. Ashwini Verma is like, he was already working
Shout out to Ashwini,
on
man.
Jaeger, and he was like, oh, dude, this is how you do it. And also he introduced me to the basics of sequencing. And then when he came the next time, I'd already started composing. Like, hey, तूने बनाया? I'm like, हाँ, मैंने बनाया types का. बढ़िया है. So I'm like, okay, if Ashwini says it's good, then I really look up to the guy. He's
Yeah,
like
man.
very
This
sharp.
this room, this home studio room that I'm in, he helped me build this. Like, he gave me the contractor's number. He's like, call this guy, it will be done. So like, I mean, this
He was junior to me in the scene, and it was like we recruited him, but he has this wise man thing about him. Even when he was younger than me, but he had that whole Yoda wala feel hai uska.
Yeah.
So he would, whatever he would say, would be very proper. He would not say anything wrong. He would not.
my every first good gig has come from Ashwini. It
So
has
yeah,
all.
he's been. So that was the rhythm section of me and Ashwini were the rhythm section of Orange
Wow.
Street for a good amount of years, and
So we have played with the same drummer.
yeah.
Sweet.
Lucky to have had
Very
Ashwini
lucky to have
during
played.
my formative years.
He's playing and his wisdom.
Playing and his wisdom, and I almost broke his head because he was on the wrong side of the headstock. Bang! Oh, kya kar raha hai?
He has those bruises. I think he can take it. Like, एक bass तो टकराया हुआ होगा उनके अश्विनी के में, like, I think he's gone through that.
Guilty as charged. Yeah, and then one day we had a fight and he threw the cymbals on me also. And a lot of things have happened. Hota hai. So
Yeah.
a lot of amazing instances. But we are close. We are very close. Still now, I mean, Ban, myself, Saibal, Rishi. We've been in touch, and the
Wow,
friendship
nice.
has only grown. So we might not be seeing each other or calling each other every day, but whenever there is any chance of interaction, there's a lot of love and a lot of amazing anecdotes we share about the past. It's good fun.
I wanted to give like a shout out to Cornote Studios, Sid and Gaurav. Also, the song we played earlier, "The Land from My Sister," some parts of it were recorded at Cornote, right?
At Quarter Note, it was recorded. Vibha was recorded by, I don't remember whether it was recorded
Sid. It
by
says it was.
Sid
Yeah.
or Gaurav Chintamani, but I think Sid had recorded
Yeah,
it.
it's
But Quarter
the
Note
credits. It
definitely,
says.
yes.
Yeah. Sid, sorry, Sid, I don't understand every first. Yeah, what I meant was that most of my first good gigs that I played, like I got to play with some good musicians, and that was almost always because of this thing. Just got to Mud in quarantine. Okay, cool. So yeah, he came into Mud, I think. So
Oh, finally, yeah. I've
yeah.
gone to this place for a couple.
Welcome to Mud. It's a nice place. I'm sure you've been to Mud for a while, right, Sid? Okay. So,
Today I have another story also, because the last we sort of started talking about things, and we got so engrossed in our conversation at the airport that we missed our flight to Goa for a Mrigya gig.
oh my God.
It's pretty
Oh,
this happened Abhi hua actually. In fact, then we had to spend the night at his place at Mud, and then wake up in the morning and got galis from the band, tum log pagal ho, ye wo, and all that. And like,
wow.
yeah, chill, we'll reach. So we're there for the
Well,
gig.
so
And then
was he playing a different gig or was he also in the
he was doing
gig?
he was running the sound for us. So
Ah,
Sid
sweet.
was
Okay.
doing a lot of sound for us. So in fact, the last gig we played was at Orcha. Ananda Bose did the sound. Before that, it was Sid Mathur
Wow.
at what was it, Pushkar,
Wow.
and then Goa. Sid Mathur did something. But I mean, we always get our friends together, because just and
Nice. Yeah, that's
these guys
how.
are
Yeah.
just amazing to be on tour with. It's, the show is just like to us. The rest of
Yeah.
the travel and the whole hanging out business is just,
Yeah.
that's what we look forward to, and that's what I'm missing, to be very honest.
Man, it's good to talk about those days, like, where when you talk about Ban and those times, and it reminds me of the RSJ office, the
Yeah,
RSJ building. So
yeah.
my new studio is in the RSJ building. It's there,
Oh,
like it's a
Oscar.
small little home studio that I've built. It's the room where Adil Manuel used to live. I've turned it into a studio.
Adil
Yeah.
Menon. Yes.
And Jasper actually used to live there before Adil. And when I called Jasper, I said, I have a new studio. He's like, this used to be my bedroom. I used to be like, whoa. So so then I've heard from Sarthak, Ban,
Kaushik, yes.
Adil, they're all like, we used to live there. I'm like, man, I just remodeled that place and made a studio.
The gang, yeah. Sam Lal was there too at that
Yeah,
point of
yeah.
time. Segal, Sam
So
Lal, Sarthak.
okay,
KK, Kalyan
we have
Kumar, KK, I think.
we have to talk about, yeah, so we have to talk about the first advertising gig. We have to talk about this stuff, and Saurabh Suman is helping us digress some more. He says we have to talk about Mr. Kakkar. So I think that's Rajat, right?
Of course.
So
I mean, how can you not talk about Kakkad? I mean, that's a legend. So,
yeah,
so
so I have never met Rajat, so you could tell us a story about Rajat, and then we will come to advertising and
there
work.
is, then this whole interview is only going to be about, or what if this talk is only going to be about Rajat if I start.
So
So
okay, so you get one short story to tell, like 5 minutes or maximum three. Let's take it three.
I'll give you an amazing story.
Okay, sure.
So we in the band we have what Rajat does. As much as we love him, he has a knack for expletives. As you know, he starts his sentence with an MC and in the middle peppered with a lot of colorful language and ends with a BC, whatever. That's
Nice.
Kakkar. Everybody knows him. He talks like that everywhere. He knows everybody from
That's why.
Joe's Avenue to Zacchaeus and to everybody. Kakkar knows everybody, and everybody knows Kakkar.
Wow. And I'm sure if he's that solid of a guy, that's why his drum parts don't go missing when they go out for rent. They come back. All of the parts come back. I hope so.
He's a drum
Because
mafia man. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
he'll have people.
You know how drummers, sorry, like, but you know how little things, sometimes the felts go missing and stuff like that.
I've heard. Thankfully I'm a bass player. I lost a bass once in Bombay, but then hey, that's another story. So Kakkar,
So
yeah.
anyways, so
Kakkarism
I'm
number
sure.
one.
Yeah.
Kakkarism number one. What happened was when the band was formed, so we all got together, Sharat, myself, Rajat, Gyan. So we said, it was a jam at Friends of Music. It was not supposed to be a band. So Rajat was like, "Oi, kuch naam bata de mere ko." He just calls me on the landline, like, and I was like, and on my old black and white TV, it was Mithun Chakravarti's, first film, Mrigya was on. That was Mrinal Sen's movie. So I just looked at the TV and said, "Hey, it's a good name. Mrigya likh de." Kya?
Wow.
I said, Mrigya likh de. Haan, theek hai, acha hai, naam acha hai, theek hai. In those days, it's gone on like a written print or something.
Wow.
So the day of the gig, we get a flyer. We used to get these flyers. Friends of Music used to
Right.
actually send physical flyers, post to the member, the Friends of Music Club people. And it's so presenting Fusion so by Mrigya, Mrigya. A guy. Kakkad. I go, "Oi, it was Mrigya. Take it, jane de be." So I'm like, dude, what does Mrigya even mean? He's a Mrigya. So Mrigya means hunt. Mrigya is, he's like, "Arey, it's just one." He thought, in whatever, in his typical Dilli Chai wali bhasha is like, it doesn't matter, man. It's just, we are, anyways, it's just a jam. It's not like a band or anything.
Yeah.
Jane de, take it. So that's how it became Mrigya instead of Mrigya.
Mrigya.
So that's Rajat, and he will, and it confidently, matlab, kar dega, and it's there. Like Mrigya is Mrigya now. That's because of Rajat. So technically, he named the band, not me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there are a lot of things like that.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure. I mean, this could be like a couple of weeks of conversations over here for sure.
Ashwini was the first drummer of Mrigya, by the way.
Wow. Okay.
He was the first drummer of Mrigya. Rajat was playing percussions. So it was supposed to be a percussion jam, and everybody else pulled out. It was only Ashwini and Rajat, and then we said, okay, Sharat, myself, and we've been jamming on some stuff, and let's all do that. They all came to my house. We jammed, like the first 5-6 songs happened in one day actually. Ganga, Pahadi Funk, Rock the Raga. A lot of these songs, they happened just the day we all met together and jammed. So yeah, and Ashwini was playing drums, so he played for that first gig. After that, Ashwini Gayab, he joined Euphoria, so he became very busy with Euphoria. And like, who's gonna be playing the drums? Rather, like, even I can play the drums. I'm okay, fine. So he was just supposed to be a drummer till we sort of thought to try to figure out who else. But he did a damn good job. So
there was a Mrigya jam pad in Shapurjat or somewhere. Where
so
was
we had we used to pay like a proper rent. All of us used to contribute, and from the band earnings, we actually had a place at Shapurjat. Before that, it was in first the jams used to happen at my house just before the gig. But after the band was formed formally, it started happening at Rajat's house in Daryaganj, 89 Daryaganj.
Nice.
A lot of our formative years we spent in Daryaganj.
Right.
So that's where the Mrigya sound really came through. The proper songs were made. We all used to go to Daryaganj and park our cars niche and go up to Rajat's house. And when we come down, the rear view mirrors would go missing. All being sold.
Yeah.
So I had to, like, after 3-4 times, I said, "Hey, rear view mirror laga hi mat."
I was just going to say that कि उतार के अंदर खुद रख लो गाड़ी के पहले.
And but the good part was an idea for that place, Chandni Chowk or Daryaganj, was so amazing. So amazing. So you had a temple there, and you had the Jama Masjid. So at the same time you would hear the Aarti and the Azan together, and the church also. So it was just beautiful energy in the
lot of culture,
in the evening,
right?
A lot of culture. So that's where we sort of came up with a song called Procession, where it starts with a Sufiana, it's like a Azan call, and there's a Rigved happening. So that idea came from the fact that we could actually hear the temple bells, the Aarti bells, and the the Sham ka namaz bolte hain. So that's the time. I'm not sure, but that's the time these two meet, and it was amazing. It's a beautiful, surreal experience. I still get goosebumps when I hear it. It was like winter evening, Delhi winters. I miss Delhi winters. I'm in Bombay right now, but hey, I haven't worn a jacket for the past 4 years, man. Like, what the hell? There are no winters in Bombay. So I miss those beautiful evenings, Delhi winters with garam chai, and you go to Jama Masjid and have your kebabs and stuff like that. I'm a vegetarian now, so but beautiful. Yeah, it's just turned vegetarian about for 6 months because it just that's another discussion.
But that's a big lifestyle change. Is that for
For
health?
me, yes. Like, there are a lot of people who cannot believe that because I've gone to Africa and toured there, and I've actually eaten everything.
Yeah. Known to man. Yeah.
Like the crocodiles and ostriches.
Yeah.
But I'm a foodie, like a non-vegetarian foodie. I used to be, but somehow there was something which happened. Something just snapped. I just didn't want to be a part of the violence.
Right. I understand. Yeah.
And it was not something where I had to say, ki, nahi, I am making a sacrifice. Some people, they know about the ethics of meat eating, and then they don't want to eat it because they want to be true to their own selves. I couldn't take it down after a point of time. I just couldn't take it down.
I understand.
I was just rejected. So it was a very personal thing.
It's a beautiful journey, though. Yeah.
It is. It's just less guilty. I mean, I still drink milk and I have eggs, so it's not like 100%. At the end of the day, I need your protein. Some people can. There are many ways. It's a step.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But it's still better than eating animals who are slaughtered, and, they don't have any voice, and there's too many things. It's too much misery.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. It's awesome. I mean, it's
Yeah,
the
and I
thought
don't
is
miss it, and I feel a lot more healthy actually.
nice.
So yeah, it's a lot.
That's
There is a difference.
yeah. Wow.
From,
Okay.
from a
Up here, right? Like
voracious non-vegetarian person. Like,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
have there were times when I would have chicken, fish, and mutton the same day.
The same day. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my mom's a Bengali, so
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's a big transition, right?
you know,
So
fish is
nice, man.
vegetarian, man. So, but I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Intrinsically, I think it's a lot more calm.
It's like a cleaner state of mind, less chaos, or I mean,
No, we are musicians. For us, that has got nothing to do with this. Chaos is always going to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
for any people who are in the arts, or it's but clarity of thought, yes.
yeah,
Chaos is always there.
it's
If
just
you're
there.
human,
Yeah.
chaos will always be there. Vegetarian,
Frequency
non-vegetarian,
sari
nothing to do. That's just training. But clarity, definitely, you're able to focus a little better. Clarity is better, and I do keep myself, like, I do work out. Before this, I used to go to gym very regularly.
Nice.
So even it didn't affect my performance at lifting weights or anything like that. On the contrary, it was just okay. I mean, there's no difference. No real difference. कि अरे meat नहीं खाएगा तो मर जाएगा type.
Yeah.
नहीं, that's cool. So yeah.
You are also like, I mean, musicians, like, they're often not fit. There are few musicians who are fit, like, like what I'm saying, like, because we live sedentary lives, it's easier for us to
No,
sort of
musicians love food.
yeah, we
I
love
mean,
food, right?
come
And we
on.
love feelings, like, so kya hota hai ke
Food and music, man.
yeah,
That's what
exactly.
it is. So
Yeah, so, I mean, do you have like a workout routine that you had for a while, like
for many years, yes. So I'm not into the whole dole shole body shoddy types.
yeah,
I think it's very important to be. So I used to get a lot of problems initially. I was very unfit. At the bass I played, the Warwick thumb.
yeah, it's
I've
a
been
heavy
playing that
base.
for. It's a heavy bass, and it's not really a very very ergonomic bass. It's got a great sound, but it's got a neck dive.
It's got a major neck dive.
Massive neck dive. A lot of people don't like that bass because of the neck dive.
Yeah,
But whenever I tried switching to some other instrument, I just didn't get that vibe. For me, the Warwick was my sound.
the sound. Yeah, yeah,
But I started getting such bad cervical spondylosis issues that I could not even move my neck. While reversing
oh
my
my
car, I
god.
couldn't look back, and this was happening to me in my late 20s, man. As early as late 20s.
I think yeah, I think I've seen you struggle with that, because I met you once in Dwarka or somewhere, and you told me you can't look back, so you found a way to reverse your car. Like,
Yeah, it was that bad. It was really bad.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was bad. Painful, bad. I couldn't sleep. I was just going all over the place, and then I
my
met a
God.
lot of these doctors, and they're saying,
Right.
look, either you change your instrument, because at that point of time, Mrigya was touring a lot also, and then
Right.
so the flights, and I just become a parent. I had a small kid, and when you
Less sleep.
have less sleep, of course, and then my wife was working. Things were very a lot of stuff happening. So then I realized that the doc told me, either you strengthen the muscles at the back, or
Right.
you find an instrument which is easy to play.
Yeah.
I'm like, two things: A, finding another instrument is difficult. B, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, definitely.
cheaper to and also it's a great way of just trying to get myself a little in shape. And my wife was instrumental in kicking my butt, and she
Nice.
would wake me up in the morning like, get up lazy bum, go run types. And she had actually hired a physical, like a trainer who would come and take us out. So all sort of things were happening. So yeah, initial days were brutal, but once I started, now it's become so much a part of my life that it's like eating food. I need to work out. If I don't, even though I'm not going to the gym, I need to, at least, if not
Yeah.
every day, at least 3 to 4 times a week. do my intense
Like a
workouts.
body weight workout at home, something like
I
that.
have dumbbells at home, so I work out. I definitely work my shoulders out because that's the part which goes first for me. That's my maintenance priority number one. Shoulder and lower back, because whenever you're playing bass, your this part and your
Yeah,
lower
yeah.
back is where you're. And if you want to solo and play fast and have more control on your notes, you need to be physical. Your wrist and all that. It helps.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, have
Said,
you seen Victor Wooten's shoulders and his
yeah,
biceps? And
man, his hands have more muscles than my whole body might have.
yeah. So when
his
he's
thumb,
doing all
his
those
thumb
things,
or his fingers. But he is also facing physical issues. He cannot play like the way he used to, you know?
yeah, because that's also because he does a lot of stuff. He's a martial arts
Yeah.
expert, and
No, it's a nerve thing.
it's a nerve thing. Yes, a lot of
Yeah.
people have that nerve thing, so it's important to see.
So
Also, practice schedules are important.
he's
Warm up
working.
is
Yeah.
important. Uh,
Sid says, uke bajalo. He says doctor's advice is start playing a uke, which
I play the uke also. I have the uke, but uke bass नहीं बजा सकता यार. Somehow,
ah,
sorry with all due
exactly.
respect.
And
It's like
that's
you put like 4 noodle लगा दिया वहाँ पे और बजा रहे हैं यार Chinese food.
well, that's its own sound.
I know it's a great
Yeah.
sound. I'm
Yeah,
just
but you know,
joking.
like uke, and also the thing is uke too. I'm sure you put it in advertising, and you can program uke now these days.
You
Sounds
can,
pretty
but
good.
I have a uke lying around. I play the uke, I play the mandolin, so I keep on, and
Yeah.
sometimes I.
No, this is just me quirky. It's actually funny thing to say, yeah, because you know what, that's what happened earlier. Now you tell a musician, "Bhai shoulder kharabar," they'll be like, "Bhai uke baja le," you know, like
Oh yeah,
that's the thing to do. It's
oh
funny, yeah,
yeah.
actually.
No
So,
uke बजाओ, so बजाओ guitar बजाओ, mando बजाओ.
right. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I also had my phase with neck, and so we had a phase with my neck. He's saying long. You like long noodles? So like I don't know if you can see the chat, but I can see it.
No,
So
no,
I'm
no.
passing on the
Let's get
chat.
really really banal on this. Uke,
Yeah, yeah,
base uke is like soba noodles.
yeah,
मोटा मोटा.
yeah. So I had this phase with my neck and wrists and everything. I switched to a headless bass. You know, I was fortunate enough to have a
I
relationship
wanted
with
to
a
get one of those. The
I had
standard
I had a fortunate like a very back and forth sort of a honest relationship with the bass maker, and we designed things
Oh,
together.
you had the Uber. I've seen that. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful.
the Morrissey Uber. So
Very
I
nice.
was like, boss, we need to solve this problem. I want to play bass for the rest of my life, and I want to have one instrument that I commit
We've
to.
had a chat on that also
Yeah,
once.
yeah. I told him I want to commit to an instrument, and
Yes.
can you make me something that I want, which has
Yeah.
to be. And I liked his thought behind making the bass very ergonomic. So uska bass na, the way it sits on your body, it puts no stress on the shoulder. It puts it on the back and the chest somehow. So
No, I know.
yeah,
I've seen that. They're really
yeah,
nice. I mean,
it just sits differently. So I had to figure that out, and I'm sure all musicians, bass players especially, because it's such a heavy instrument, we have to go through it. But yeah, it's definitely a great way to look at it, because if I don't do a certain amount of Surya Namaskars every day or some exercise, my lower back just goes for a toss, you know. So like it's just the music or the instrument demands us to raise our fitness levels to a certain extent,
like you see
because being
drummers also they need to
yeah
be fit because they're so like working all fours. It's a
yeah
lot of energy.
being a touring musician, you have to
Yeah,
really
so
work out.
everybody actually, drummers, tabla players,
Yeah,
violin players, guitar players. You have to be fit if you're a touring musician. And the good part is when you sort of are playing good venues and your hospitality is good and you're staying in good places,
yeah,
that
with
gives you
gym and
good
stuff.
food to eat. Every time there's like a 5-star buffet and you're like, so you gotta be
Yeah,
a
you
little
hog,
careful.
right, right.
And you like go and like there's an amazing buffet happening, and the first thing you do is just go and pick on the little greens and stuff. So you got to
Yeah,
eat right,
yeah,
and not indulge. Get the right amount of sleep.
okay.
It's very important because you see, we don't have any. What do you call that? We don't have any kind of so-called pension schemes or anything.
Yeah, there is no retirement plan,
There
right?
is no
Most of
retirement plan.
yeah,
Right? So
yeah,
if you're fit, you'll be working, and if you're not fit, then you won't be working. So it's
yeah,
not just
exactly.
even studio musicians, even
Yeah,
musicians. You
definitely.
need to be there, out there. So being physically fit is an extremely important part of our life for anything and for any profession. If you just need to be physically fit. Period. There's no reason. It is the way
Definitely.
to be.
It's just
Until unless
yeah, it's
God forbid something happens to you, or you get some kind of dreaded disease or something which is beyond us. But
right.
even that can be controlled up to a certain amount if your lifestyle is good and if you lead a healthy lifestyle.
Awesome.
Beyond
That's
that
great.
is That's
Nee,
very
this is solid inspiration. Okay, but I'm gonna jump to the day job. Let's talk about how did you get your first one? What was it? And kaise hua or kaise experience tha and everything. Like where did it come from? How did it go?
It's a little hazy right now. It is a little hazy right now, but it
Okay,
came to
cool.
me. First jingle was a radio jingle for
Okay.
Panasonic.
Wow.
So basically, I still remember what it was, and I got that was my first job, but very first job. It was hell because see, creatively we did a good job, but
Hmm.
mix wise it is really bad, and that's when I really realized. That's I realized how important it is
Yeah. I know you
to
mix
have
some
it.
of your own music.
And now
I
I
know you.
do, but
Yeah,
those
you
days
mixed.
it was
Yeah.
like, and we would work on ADATs, DATH, with
Shit.
analog stuff, and for us to give, it would be transferred onto spools
Yeah.
for radio broadcast. I've seen.
Wow.
I come from that old school, so we've actually worked on analog, and stuff like that. So it was
Spools of
really,
tape, boys and girls.
so
So
tape. Yeah, I worked on
yeah.
tape,
Wow.
and transferred from and you could get it. The best way you could get your recordings back home was on a chrome tape from a DAT
Wow.
machine. That was
Yeah.
pristine quality, and your chrome tape you would not play every time because otherwise it just sort of gets a
Right.
little less in
Yeah.
terms of its clarity.
Loses the
It
pristineness. Yeah.
loses the fidelity or whatever. But
Definitely.
it was Panasonic, so it was at this. It was
Wow.
supposed to be like the kick drum going dig 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 dig, and on that dig 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 you get into like a Latin groove, and then it's Panasonic, so on so so on. So it's like you're
Nice.
beating it. This is a radio one.
Hi, and if it's for an audio brand, it has to smash,
Yeah, but I'm talking about 95 or 96,
Wow.
96 maybe, I don't know. That
Oh
was
my god.
95, 96, I think. 96, yes. That's when I started. That was my first ad. But before that, I was working for a company called InTV, and I was a journalist. I was a
Okay.
journalist, and I was a TV journalist. The days when I've done a lot of stuff. And when I
Yeah,
was
I was
working
gonna
for
ask you, was there like a job phase or something like that?
yeah, I did my postgraduate diploma in sales and marketing management, which is like a sort
Okay.
of an MBA, and I then joined HCL.
Wow.
I was one of the youngest guys in HCL. There's a marketing executive there, so it was executive corporate sales.
I'm sure that helps now. Like just learning a little bit about marketing, a little bit about sales. Like in terms of like when you have to have a negotiation with the client at the moment.
Charger also. Sorry, my battery is
Yeah,
going.
please get the
Uh,
paraphernalia we needed.
Paraphernalia, yes. So I'll just say thanks. So yeah, it does help in more as a trying to understand what a corporate mindset is. So I've
Exactly.
been a corporate person.
Having
So
been in the job at the other side, as also being a journalist would have helped you later. Like,
journalist. I've been a journalist. I've interviewed people like P. Chidambaram and Manmohan
wow.
Singh and the Ratan Tata, JD Irani, JJ Irani was at the Tata Steel.
Oh my
So
god.
I business journalism. I was a business journalist, so economic journalist. So I used to do a
This
lot
is
of that
epic.
kind of work. This is quite epic. So I would actually,
This is
we
epic.
were the first guys. We were the first set of guys who sort of got into television journalism. We used to be in a company called BITV. Ban was also there. Sonam Sherpa
Okay.
was there. Dilip Ramachandran was there.
Oh
Nitin
my
Malik was
god.
also there. For God's sake.
Yeah.
So many musicians, man. So BITV was cool. So गए नौकरी चाहिए BITV चलते हैं. सारे musicians वहीं पे. Ashwini was there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Sonu was in my team. He was in production, and I was,
Man.
so yeah, we're on.
There you go.
The
Yeah.
charge is on. I got my coffee.
Sweet.
So yeah, that was like a melting pot of all these because the senior people in BITV were kind enough to give us stray musicians a lot of livelihood. So yeah, it was great. Dilip was there on the same floor as myself.
Nice.
That's how a lot of camaraderie also happened.
Definitely.
We're all very close friends.
I mix records for like college bands who are in their first year right now. Okay. And I feel like somewhere like a bridge between you all, like, and talking about the time when Dilip used to play for Parikrama is a whole different generation,
Yeah, Chintan
now
was also there.
compared to the
was on BITV.
17-year-olds now, you know what I'm saying? Like so like I feel like, this stuff has to, like, the kids need to know why are there music festivals, like like kaise hote hain, like for them it's like average thing कि college है तो competition होगा,
Boss,
but
the
like,
music festivals of our time, I don't want to be
yeah,
sounding like our old guy. हमारे time पे ये होता था.
yeah, but like some
Actually, हमारे
musicians
time पे music
created.
festivals, they were the real music festivals.
Yeah, but also it was musicians, it was guys like I don't know all the names, but Subir Malik, Amit Sehgal were instrumental in making those, starting those. They were musicians starting those
Actually,
festivals,
this was way before Subir and Amit
and even
Sehgal.
before them. Yeah, exactly.
Because at
Yeah,
that point of time, Subir was Parikrama. Amit Sehgal
right.
was just starting out with
Yeah,
RSJ.
yeah,
The
yeah,
festival circuit had stalwarts like the old Agni. Indian
right,
Ocean were doing a
exactly.
lot of gigs. There were some amazing bands. People like Pentagram and us. We started out around at the same time. Parikrama
Yeah,
was a little senior, just about a couple of years before us.
right.
We had bands like Chakrabi we were competing with. Uh, Pentagram,
Yeah,
Chakravyuh, Parikrama, Euphoria was doing so much.
Euphoria. Yeah, yeah.
There was a band from Pune called Easy Meat,
There was a band called Nakshatra.
amazing. Nakshatra, I think, was it? I don't know.
It was later. It
Naksha
was
was
later.
there definitely from Chennai.
Right.
Nakshatra probably. I'm talking about early 90s. We're talking
Okay.
about 92 to about say 96, 95, 96. That was the time when this whole rock thing happened. There was War Rock,
Yeah.
Phoenix,
Because
and college bands had less sponsors. The
yeah,
sponsorship was
definitely.
less, but the festival circuit was all rock, and
Yeah,
amazing bands from all over the country would come. They would
yeah.
spend days on a train. The atmosphere was just magical.
Exactly. I feel that needs to be captured. If there is footage of GIR, Great Indian Rest Festival, and somebody
I
needs
think
to
Anirban
compile it.
Chakravarti has it. You must bug him. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of
Yeah,
stuff
ये सब
lying
कुछ एक
around.
documentary बनना चाहिए,
I
because there
think
were
वो
those
बनाया भी था
when I
यार कुछ था. So I think he
yeah,
has
when
all
I
that.
grew up, I saw these heavy metal documentaries about how did thrash metal come about, and all these older headbangers journey or whatever. So there
Millennium,
needs to
yeah,
be
Millennium was there. Yes, they were senior again,
there
right?
needs to be a few. There need to be a couple of documentaries about the Indian scene, getting footage from the GIR days and before that and stuff like that. Anyways,
So
we were talking about jobs.
GIR
Let's
just
not
happened.
let's
Sorry,
not
GIR
digress.
just
Yeah.
happened chronologically. GIR happened just towards the end of the 90s.
Right, right.
Just
That's when I could catch it. I was old enough to go
the
to a show.
bigger
You know what I mean?
festivals were the Bits Pilani festivals and
Yeah,
IITs.
yeah.
IITs were huge. The IIT Bombay and Chennai, Madigra, Mood Indigo. These were huge. Uh,
Right, right.
Antaragni, KIT Kanpur. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's another era. It's a
Right.
beautiful, beautiful time. So it had its own place.
Wow.
Sorry, the day job.
Yeah, let's go back to Panasonic. So then, the mix. You said the mix was a problem
The
there,
mix was a
right? Like,
problem. I just couldn't get it right, and the client kept on rejecting it, saying "अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा." And then finally it happened. Then I realized that our monitoring was not okay, and I was
yeah, yeah.
working with a lot of bass frequency sounds in that, and the studio had NS10Ms. And the
Right.
thing is, with NS10Ms,
Yeah.
there's only so much. And there's a sharp
Yeah.
drop below, I think 65 or 70. उसके नीचे कुछ सुनाई नहीं देता है. But maybe 80. NS10Ms don't even. So
I,
yeah.
मैंने रियल लाइफ में शायद नहीं सुना है, मे बी सुना होगा, बचपन में याद नहीं, लेकिन what I've been told is
नहीं,
anywhere
मैंने
below
बहुत
100.
mix किया NS10Ms में, बहुत mix किया
Wow.
है, passive.
Wow.
Amps.
I've been told okay, yeah, 100, 200 also starts dipping right there, like, so
Yeah, मतलब 80 के नीचे तो मतलब bye bye है.
yeah, and you had a lot of bass going in those jingles back then, right? Like, or something
Not
like that.
really. I didn't
No?
play bass. I was
Okay.
programming stuff a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wasn't confident enough to play bass on tracks then.
Okay.
In fact, the first time I actually played bass for somebody else was with Shantanu Mitra. Then I played
Right.
for something. Then he also called me to do a live gig when Shubham Udguri was singing and Shantanu
Right.
was there. Abhinav was on drums. I was on bass. Because Brennan was not available, so when Brennan would not be available, I could probably go and do a few gigs.
Wow.
Sometimes I've done a couple of bass parts for his jingles also. So it's all actually very hazy right now. We're
Nice.
talking about more than 25 years ago. So I might be screwing up the chronology or.
So you were doing your first ad at the age of 23, like a radio jingle, but you were 23, so like
My
96
first
is
ad, yeah, I
wow.
did, and then my first so-called ad, which still runs. One of the first ones was Maruti Suzuki Traffic Beat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that happened in
I didn't know that was yours. I know that in
99.
my head. It's going
That
on in
was
my head right
mine. That
now.
was mine. That is
Wow,
mine.
sweet. So all that was happening in
Sandeep.
Delhi back
Delhi
in
was
the
doing
day.
a lot of work. A lot of work in Delhi was happening.
Nice.
So you see, a lot of these big Bollywood names we're talking about, film industry names. You've seen Pradeep Sarkar was in Delhi. So Pradeep Sarkar and his team, there were people who were from Pradeep Sarkar's team. Amit Sharma's big here. It's Chrome Pictures in Bombay is huge. They were a part of Pradeep Sarkar's team. Gajaraj Rao, Code Red, he was with Pradeep Sarkar. Then Shujit Sarkar and Gary and Robbie had a company called Red Eyes. They started
Wow.
there. Dibakar had a company called Watermark with another friends of ours, Tawa and Indrajit Nadaji. So we would do a lot of work with these people. I mean, it's a lot of good work. Abhinav Dar had a
Yeah.
company called Dharan Hoon Films DNH. They did some very big work.
Wow. Nice.
So Delhi was actually quite happening. The advertising
Nice.
agencies were doing a lot of Hindustan Thompson Associates, HTA, which later became JWT. There was their contract was doing a lot of good work, big work. So
Nice.
Delhi was that Delhi Bombay thing was there, but
Yeah,
it was not
of
कि अरे
course.
दिल्ली में नहीं रहोगे तो फिर काम नहीं मिलेगा
No.
type.
And you just named some solid people, like I did
Yeah,
not even
solid.
know
Yeah.
Abhinav that was making films, because I just know him as a drummer and sort of like, he would just be, I just know him as a chill person who's like, come play, like I mean, you know what I'm saying? But I know he's a good photographer, so now it's connecting. The
Who?
dots are
Sorry,
connecting,
who? I could.
Sorry, Abhinav Dhar?
Abhinav there is
Yeah.
he's a creative genius.
Wow.
I mean, I'll say it on his face. He's like an inspirational creative genius and a left-handed genius that too. Who just
Yeah.
he was mad. His sense of humor is impeccable. Amazing photographer. Pretty much, he used to come to Saibal's house and he would hang. And I would see the man in action. He would just come up with ideas and do crazy things, and it would just be so much fun. But then when you try and analyze, he would just pick up the bass and just flip it the other way around and start playing it lefty. He would play the
I have a
drum.
clip of him playing the bass lefty, like, and
I
he's
was
just
like,
flipping it,
"Kya karta hai aadmi? He can do
Yeah.
everything, man." And at the same time, he's just really, he's a pretty senior guy in HTA. With behind some very good
Wow.
campaigns. He's a very, very dear friend of mine, and I still, I mean, I love him to
Great
bits.
guy. Yeah.
Um,
Onkar Alawat is saying hello to you.
Hey Onkar, what's up? What's up? Yes,
Wow.
he did come home a couple of times. More
Nice.
than that, taken a few.
Hey Onkar, how are you? So, man, this is exciting. So, 96, this is not even 2000 yet. You're making music and you're programming into a computer or into a synthesizer
No,
that's
I am
recording into a
programming
tape,
into.
right?
It's been wrapped up and kept somewhere behind my underneath. So my Core again 364. That was my first
Wow.
workstation. I had that, and then I bought the Proteus 2000. So we used to have something called samplers and romplers, ROM, so the ROM cards and samples. Of course, you have the Akai MPC
Yeah.
series, whatever. So I used to have the Proteus 2000.
Wow.
I think Vipin Mishra also used to use that Proteus. So we would have come with a lot of these. We'd come with these keyboards and a lot of these MIDI cables and send SysEx data from
Oh my
floppies
God.
from one. So that the guys are talking to each other, like the module is talking to the keyboard,
Yeah.
and you sequence it on the keyboard and take
Yeah.
the sounds from the module, and
Right.
you can take out some extra outs where you can use the sounds of the keyboard as well as the sounds of the module. It is
Real, real,
yeah.
real engineering was happening back then. Abhi to, now it's like,
hardcore patching, to get a
yeah.
sound, just to get that
Now
one.
it's laptops and headphones and you're a mastering studio, So
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I used to enjoy that process too. It was very organic. You could
yeah, definitely.
very
There is
organic.
there is a vibe to plugging in your bass and getting a tone out of the very amp you have right in front of you. You don't have
And
50,000
I had a
options.
hard disk recorder, an 8-track hard disk recorder, which still works quite fine. The VS880 Roland,
Wow.
its own sounds. It's got this nice. It had it's an analog digital, but it would record on hard disks. But it still had these converters, which were pretty nice. I've recorded some amazing bass tones out of that too. In fact, the first album for Auden Street was recorded on VS 1680 at
Oh
Quarter
my.
Note Studios. It was not Quarter Note at that particular point of time.
Yeah, it
AJ
was
Sen Gupta was
AJ Studio, yeah.
AJ Studios, so we recorded that on VS880
Wow.
or 1680 was it? Because I think there were not enough channels, so I think they sort of side chained or whatever, not side, what do you call it? Daisy chained the two
Right.
hard disk recorded. So yeah, I've been going to that place for a while. Ashwini and I recorded our part first there, so then That's,
How do you, how do you stay on top of technology? If you're coming from that, you have to stay on top of technology. Now you have arpeggiators, you have things that are just like click of a button and the whole track is there, you know what I'm
I
saying?
am technologically technically challenged. I just mess around with things, and I have my own way of working. If you actually come down and see how I work, you'll be like, "Arey, ridiculous." Because like it's been so many years that I've been playing the keyboard, and I can't play the keyboard to save my life because I'm just not able to connect to the ivories. I have an issue.
Wow.
I can't think of melodies and notes when I have the keyboard with me. There are some people who think with melodies with the
Right.
keyboard.
With the keys,
I think with the guitar.
with the guitar.
For
Okay.
me, it's a string thing. A then the keyboards. Of course, it's been so many years now. You get your way around, but it's not a like an organic thing where you just go and reach for the keyboard when you're composing. For me, it's
Yeah.
I reach for the guitar. That's the
Right.
way I work. I like electronics. I like doing my stuff. And coming from the analog days where you could actually get like an Arturia synth.
Right.
If you want an Oberheim sound, you get an Oberheim. It's no plugin.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Two people will come with that damn keyboard into the studio. Oh, it's Harak types, and then
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to get it, and then fiddling with the knobs, and then putting it onto no screen there, boss.
Yeah.
There's nothing in front. There's no screen. We used to record with no screen. There's a big analog mixer and the playback.
And
That's
yeah,
all
it's your
there is.
ears and your
Years,
brain.
and there's one little thing with either there are spools happening or there's this D88 or ADAT tapes
Yeah.
going in. There's no screen as such, which will tell you the waveform is.
What about when you're scoring to a film? There had to be a screen then if you're making
So
a movie.
we would see the film. That would be a VHS tape on TV.
Right. Yeah. Oh shit.
Okay, like you place the VHS or TCR आता था trrrr करके वो नीचे. You'll have those TCR count, like TCR
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah.
So
So
then
is it in sync with the music you're making? Does
so
it
you
move back
see
if you move back? No, right? It just plays.
So
You memorize the film.
we
Is
would
how-
call it as God sync. 1, 2, 3, dish. Now the guys pressing the play button and switching on the it would work. We would make it work somehow. Yeah, and everything was non-linear, and then that tape will go, and the DAT tape will be synced on a digibeta, and then the audio would be put on. I don't know what used to happen there. Once we finished the music here, somehow or the other we would sync it, and in ABC client के साथ presentation करेगा, टक करके दिखाया उसको एक साथ चला के हाँ चल रहा है types, and
Nice.
उसके बाद राम
Chema.
भरोसे. So no, it worked.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and it made everyone get better. Like you could not rely on you were the technology. The gear was clunky, It still is, but it's very
you have to
helpful.
find ways of making it work rather than them doing the work for you. Nowadays, all you need to know is the your human user interface. If it is good, you learn the interface and you're okay. There was the machine and there was you, and that's it. The distance between you and the machine, it was quite daunting.
Yeah, definitely.
It was challenging. It was something. It was a very different vibe. I'm sure if anybody is watching this, the old timers and people who've been around from there, a lot of them, they'll all be अरे हाँ हम लोग ऐसे करते थे types. अभी तो एक लैपटॉप लेके चले गए कहीं भी and कहीं भी बैठ के म्यूजिक बना के अपलोड भी कर दिया, ब्रॉडकास्ट भी हो गया.
Yeah, exactly. So where do you then there's this creative side also, like for example I mean, like I do want to talk about the Nokia thing, the acapella. It's been years, but you had to rethink that thing, right? Like you want to talk about it? Like how do you rethink a known melody? Like you added the other acapella layers to it, and you just have to be a creative person to be able to snap into some other zone and be like, this is how I'll do it.
I actually don't think much when these things happen.
It comes to you.
It just comes to me. It just happens, and I don't try and analyze too much, because what happens when you start analyzing your own self? This all of us, the self-doubt is always there, because you're always looking at validation from an external source. So if I try towing that line, ki, is it okay? theek hai ki nahi, then it's a downhill process from there. So if it's now I believe that I have faith in the fact that if it's coming organically and naturally for me reacting to that thing,
Right.
then it's okay because that's pure, right? I don't try and overthink that process. I will start overthinking my process when it comes to the final stages. Then I have to polish
Right.
it, make it into something, give it that sheen. That's where I really overthink things, But when I'm creating,
Yeah.
that's pretty quick. It's very fast. I don't take too much time to think
Yeah,
and
it
stop and
has
say,
to be fast. I think in 2 hours you need to give a scratch for at least whatever artwork
yeah,
you. It's just a.
it
It's
should
just
not
how.
take more than that.
Yeah,
I believe it should not take more than a couple of hours for 40
definitely.
seconds or something until it's just like a very, very intensive.
Yeah, if it's a longer film, then it takes
But
longer. But
otherwise, you should be able to get it sometime as quick as 20-25 minutes. You should be able to have the thing there. And then you start working on polishing it up. That's what takes time. But the core idea has to come in organically and quickly. Because when somebody's hiring you for a particular project, they're hiring
yeah,
your sensibility, right?
yeah,
All of us, after a certain amount of time and certain amount of years in the industry, we all know what we are doing. We all know our job.
right. Yeah,
Nobody's, like, I wouldn't say better or worse, because here it is all subjective. It's all about what the client wants. So
right on.
everybody's got that level of proficiency. And so what happens is when you're hiring people based on the vibe. Okay, I
Yeah,
like Neil's
definitely.
vibe, or I
Yeah,
like XYZ's vibe. So then that's what you realize, and you say, okay, this is my vibe, this is how I'm reacting to it.
yeah,
So it's important to have the fact that have that faith in yourself and say, okay, aa raha hai, aane do,
Anidu. Yeah, it's almost like a reaction to the film. You see the film and you feel like saying this. You
Exactly.
say it.
That's what it's doing to me. You see the film
Yeah,
and then you react to it.
it's like this conversation here, in a way.
Even
But
the color
it's
tones will
about.
affect the kind of melody you're making, or affect the kind of score you're doing. If the
Yeah,
color tone is different, you will change the kind of chords you're doing.
definitely. Yeah,
So everything is it's an external stimulus which you're reacting to. So there,
definitely.
the process has to be as pure and as organic as possible. That's for me. That's how I work.
Yeah,
Absolutely pure reaction to what I see, and then I
beautiful.
put it out there. That's my first process, and after that is then everybody else comes in, and that's when everybody joins the party, and then they do what they do.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Then yeah, of course. Then there's
but I've been
feedback and there's
lucky.
other things.
I've been lucky. I mean, my work usually gets through pretty easy with very minimal changes. So
Nice.
that's been most of the cases. And where they don't get through, then it's a complete reset, because then
Yeah,
it's a mismatch in terms of ideology and philosophy and the whole being
definitely.
like
Yeah, yeah,
nahi chal raha, wo vibe match nahi ho raha. That's a
yeah.
different story. But otherwise,
फिर
it's there. I mean,
फिर वो लंबा चलता है. Then there's lots of rounds.
yeah,
Then
then there are rounds, and then you're trying to say, अच्छा तेरे को ये चाहिए, ले ले.
yeah, exactly. Then you just do. Then you kind of have to catch what they want. You do it. It's done. तब
Reference दो
फिर
मेरे को भैया.
yeah, वैसा बना देता हूँ.
That's craft.
Yeah,
It's
craft.
like,
Yeah.
सर ये
So
वैसा वाला फर्नीचर बना के तो मेरे को घर के लिए वैसा वाला फर्नीचर चाहिए.
हाँ, मतलब like when you give even when you give like it's a funny thing, but when you show a photo to a barber and says ऐसा काट दो,
ऐसा
so
काट
like
दो, तो this is craft. You ask,
yeah,
I mean, you tell a barber तेरे को जैसा मर्जी काटना है काटना.
yeah, yeah,
That's just creativity.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
not
So
the right I mean comparison, but I would
but
never go to
sort
a
of
barber
like
and say मेरे को
if
जैसा
you
मर्जी काटना है
yeah,
काट.
but if you book an appointment with the barber you want, you probably go for the what that guy will do to your face. You're like, I trust you. You are art yourself. That
You
kind
work
of
with him a few times, हाँ ठीक है चल.
yeah,
ऐसा है.
exactly. Or it could be that.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
mean
so
that's
there's this part which is creative, and there's this part which has to refine the creation, sort of production, mixing, arrangement.
yeah.
But there's also the monetary, the pricing, and all that. That gets little like I don't know. For musicians, it could be weird.
It's always been weird for me, even after so many years. It's been 25 years, maybe. Yeah, it's about almost 25 years. It's always been weird, and there's nobody who's gonna call up and say, "यार हमारे पास budget है, कितना चाहिए पैसा तेरे को बोलना."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll say budget कम है, sir.
It's always coming, yeah.
It's
So
always.
like, how do you know what's like? Is there a formula to figuring out? Sorry, I've got a messy thing happening here, so I'm trying to
Oh,
fix it. So
it's okay.
okay, so like, have you got a formula to knowing what's a good price for you to charge? Like, when you're charging too much or too little. What's the middle
I've
point?
been around for a long time. Initial years when you
Yeah.
get in, you say, okay, ठीक है, you just want to work because you
Yeah.
work anymore. when you have nothing and when you're working, you don't have a family, you're staying with your parents, kuch bhi chalta hai, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Do that, and they'll also give you hamare paas aa jao. And usually you start working out when you work with friends.
Yeah.
Initially, yes. At least that's what it was. The initial thing with friends, and then it's pretty transparent ki itna hai.
Friends of friends, people you
Friends,
know.
friends, you know. So, but later on, when like absolute, when the market starts calling you, like,
Right. Yeah.
we've heard you did this. How much would you charge?
Right.
That's where you need to sometimes speak with people who've been around and get to know the rates. It's very important to get that down. If you have
Yeah,
other
that's
musician
that's
friends and
that's a
stuff
very
like
good
that,
approach. Yeah, that's the first thing to do. Call your senior friends and be like, "Yaar,
you can say
kitna
how
bol
much
rahe ho?"
do you think kitna
Yeah.
bolu and
Yeah.
kaam kya hai, kya nahi. Because what's happening is there is no really, like in Bombay you have something called a rate card. Something which I
Right.
figured out after so many years after coming to Bombay कि यहाँ पे rate card होता है. भैया
Yeah.
master को कितना लेते हो? Then there are edits and cut downs and stuff. Even there, people here also they'll say हाँ rate card not fine, but हमारे पास इतना ही है.
Yeah.
But at least you know to start the conversation saying this is my master. I charge X amount of money for my master. For the cut downs, I charge X amount of. Then there are rights, there are broadcast rights, and there are digital media rights, and there are so many things. And there's so many things which you don't know. When I was in Delhi, I didn't know all these things.
Yeah. You
And a
have
lot
to.
of people have taken me for a ride. I mean,
Wow.
I made my fair share of money in Delhi. I was not somebody who was cheap, even then. But I do realize that people in Bombay would be charging a lot more because
Right.
that's why they say industry. Delhi was more like a cottage industry. Bombay is the industry. There were norms, there were associations, there were things happening.
Correct.
So that was the first thing when you came here. Rate card kya hai? मैंने rate card क्या होता है?
Yeah.
It's like it's just found very weird. It's like when somebody calls you, sir, आपका rate card दो.
Yeah.
You know. And for a musician, I'm like rate card. Immediately मेरे दिमाग में ना वो menu आ गया.
Yeah.
चाय 10 रुपए, bread omelette 10 रुपए.
Oh
So
my
that's
God.
like ching, rate card.
Wow.
Hang on. Can I call? Hey, rate card क्या होता है रे?
Yeah. Yeah. Or send me yours. Can I copy it? And then like you just change your numbers and you send.
नहीं, इतना benevolent भी कोई नहीं है. Everybody has to. It's still a competitive kind of the vibe here and
Yeah.
everywhere. So, but the thing is, it's important to keep yourself informed. And by saying this, if there are people who are coming out now, it's very important to know and also have a very, very realistic self-worth of yourself.
Right.
Self-worth of yourself. Weird. Anyway, so realistic self-worth. So I can't say I'll charge an atrocious amount of money. You know.
Right.
There are big names. Say, अरे रहमान साहब को तो 3 करोड़ रुपए दिया, मेरे को 30,000 क्यों दे रहा है?
Right.
अब there is no answer to that. I mean,
Yeah.
no,
Exactly. There is
dude,
an answer. Yeah. Exactly. You don't want to say that. Like. Yeah.
no, I'm a very frank guy, and I am known to speak my mind. The fact is, okay, I mean, not everything a big maestro does is correct, very good, and not everything which a young guy does is very bad either. So
Definitely. Yeah.
it's a thing. But then that's where all these years of hard work, all these years of branding, so you have to build yourself. You need to
Right.
do a few jobs, prove yourself, and once you prove yourself, and slowly you start hiking your price till you reach a certain place where you say, okay, this is a respectable amount. This is how much I charge. I can only compromise till this much. इससे नीचे मैं नहीं जाऊँगा.
Mm-hmm.
और मेरा maximum ceiling इससा है, इतना है, because beyond this I will not get. Then
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense because there are.
Makes sense.
So you have to. It's
Calibrate,
constant
yeah.
process of calibration.
Yeah.
For me also, when I came to Bombay after 20 years of working in Delhi, when I come to Bombay and they're like, who are you and where have you come from? What have you done?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and the kind of prices which. So that was a very, very dark phase in my life because I shifted from Delhi to Bombay because Delhi, I think my price was so high that people were not giving me work
Ah. Okay.
because they didn't have those kind of budgets. So
But you rightfully commanded it, so you had to look for a place where it was.
It is like, okay, you want to buy a BMW, but you like a BMW, you respect the fact that the BMW is a great car, but you don't have that much money to buy a BMW. With all due respect to BMW, from your side, you cannot afford that car.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you will buy a car which is close to your budget.
Correct.
If you say that the BMW is a bad car, you just can't afford it. And it's nobody's
Definitely.
fault.
Yeah.
It's nobody's fault. The budgets are
Yeah.
not there.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right. So what happened? Delhi, what started happening was a lot of work started moving towards Bombay. I survived by doing a lot of radio work. I would take on radio campaigns. I was a
Right.
decent amount of money. I would take out campaigns and I was like the production house and do a lot of work. And enough for me to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But that also stopped, and then I was refusing more work than I was doing my work. Phone calls
Right.
would come and I would say something, and they would say, "Itna nahi hai." They would like a fraction of the cost. We have this much money, and I said, "No, no, no." And after I said, "There's no work after a point of time."
Right. Right.
Then I
Correct.
just said, "Okay." Then a lot of people, my friends, who had moved from Delhi to Bombay, they're like, "Bro, तेरे को कब से बोल रहे हैं बॉम्बे आ जा?
Aja.
कब से
Yeah.
बोल रहे हैं?" There are
Yeah.
people who started out with much later than me in Delhi, and they moved to Bombay, and they moved, and they've all had very good stories to say.
Right.
They all had a very good success stories, and they're saying, this is a place that respects talent, blah blah blah, you should be here. I never took them seriously because for me the band was very important, and Delhi is a great life. I miss Delhi still. I still
It's
miss
home,
Delhi. Delhi's home.
Yeah.
I had a great life, nice big house,
Yeah.
car, parking space, big streets. I had my sports club and the whole membership thing. It's good
Yeah.
fun. Bombay, you come back and you're like, you suddenly realize what the struggle is all about. Now nobody
Right.
knows you. It doesn't matter what you did in Delhi, boss. What did you do in Bombay?
Yeah.
That's another phase. It's the time when you met me, I was just about. Thankfully, I mean, there are some good friends, and especially Shiraz was there. He's one of the first directors to give me work.
Nice.
He was like, "Oh, tu yahan hai, tere bola nahi hai na?" He said, "Chal, let's do this project," and I did one.
Nice.
So I hope I did. I think I did a good job. So the second one came, third, and once I
Nice.
had his projects to show as my reel, and I started getting more work from other people, and that's how it happened.
It's tough, but it's exciting, I'm sure,
So at the age of 43, I was doing what I was doing at the age of 23 in Delhi.
Again.
Putting my
Wow.
demos.
Yeah.
So it took a lot. I mean, सबका ego होता है, after a point, and me after being a senior person and being around, putting in so much work, you have that, I wouldn't say ego, but you have that little bit of a self-pride. मैं तो नहीं करूँगा types. But then when you come here, you need
करना पड़ेगा.
You need to break yourself down, and it's not a bad thing, but I believe it's a lesson in life. I think life teaches you a lesson, and you need to learn to keep your head down and just be thankful for what you have. At times you just need to do what you have to do.
Yeah, isi bahane pata nahi what else you might learn, who knows, right? Like on the way, like you'll pick up so many things. Not you, anybody.
I feel I've become better when in Delhi, when I used to do I used to work, my television commercials were less. I would do a lot of all sorts of work, but you do 2 TVCs मुश्किल से, because Delhi would do a lot of work जो कि दिखता नहीं है.
Right, correct.
Bombay,
that's what's happening. Yeah.
Anything, it would be out there, and it's a very small industry. So she's out. Like, bro, that's quick. It never happened.
Right.
Then the payments problems in Delhi, payment problems are there.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
You know it. Yeah.
Bombay में भी है, ऐसा नहीं Bombay में नहीं है, but it's still better.
It's still more professional. Yeah. Whatever I do with Bombay people, it's very respectful in that sense, in terms of it's considered to be a real profession, and
they're very cut and dry, very professional.
Yeah, transactions are very cut and dry, but they're good,
Yeah, but it's like जो बात हुई है वो बात हुई है, and that's it.
Exactly.
Most of the cases, there are always exceptions.
There's definitely exceptions, and there's good exceptions in Delhi also. There are people.
Yes, I've had very good touch wood, because I used to work only with the ad agencies and never worked.
Nice.
So agencies for me, it was like I've had a very, very, very good association with agencies like JWT and
nice.
Lintas and Grey. Worked with all of them. So it's been very good. Like there was a time when for 5 years I was only doing JWT work.
For a while, yeah.
I couldn't take any other work because I was just so jammed with the kind of work coming with it. Just, Airtel and Pepsi Group, just these two companies were just, it's just like, the Airtel group would leave the studio and the Pepsi group would come in for lays or something. Days and days.
Yeah, so then it's on. Then it's on. Then it's like the wedding season or whatever, but with ads.
You'd hardly be home. You come home, you just like grab 5 hours of sleep, and the phone's ringing and like, hey bro, master jana hai, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, ek change aaya, bhago studio. So good life.
Fun life, right? Yeah, I mean,
it is fun.
My first ad was making music for an IDBI digital film, 2 minutes long digital ad film, and I'm in this room. I read the script, it says Sachin's VO, and I'm like, is it Sachin Tendulkar? right? I don't know if I'm that lucky, right? But I Google it, and IDBI ke liye Sachin Tendulkar is the brand mascot. I danced here in this room. I was like, this is unreal. You know what I'm saying? It's so exciting. But
Yeah.
that were 3 long days of my life. Matlab, first day was music is approved, second day mix is happening, third day I have to make sure they want separates exactly how they want them. I didn't sleep. I think,
But you would be having fun doing that, and that's the whole
yeah,
point.
it was beautiful.
It's not work. It's
Yeah,
fun.
it was love.
It was fun.
Like
But, I mean, if you get a
सोने
good
गया,
client and good agency, it's
yeah,
fun. Fun.
सोने गया, 2 बजे 3 बजे, the brain just woke up and said the horn section has to go to the right or whatever, some shit happened, and I wake up, I had to come here and do it, like whatever, because the project was approved, but it was now time to mix it and make it shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know.
Well, that's your initial years. After so many years, you're like,
हाँ, हो ही जाएगा. Yeah.
sometimes you're doing multiple projects. You're like, oh, this one is done, and then you've forgotten what's happening here. Then you go on to that. So
Exactly.
yeah, you get used to it. But it's fun. Yeah. But
It's fun, man.
But it's important to balance that. Like if I wouldn't have had Mrigya in my life, I would probably gone mad. Because
Correct.
I can't
Wow.
just go on doing studio work. I can't.
Right.
For
That's
me,
good advice.
it's never been like, it's very personal. Some people are very happy doing advertising work day in and day out, making that money, and some people have made a lot of money out of it. I am willing to make a little less, but have a more wholesome life in terms of my touring and traveling and playing the music I want to do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mrigya is
Definitely, man.
my band, our band.
Yeah.
It's us friends. Me, Sharat, Rajat, Gyan.
Yeah.
We're friends. We're playing something which we like to do. It's not.
Right.
I'm also not a session-based player for a band. Like it's
Yeah,
my
exactly.
band.
Yeah.
I'm and on stage I'm like the face of the band. So for me, that is what it makes me feel alive.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
that's the energy I bring to the studio.
To the studio. Yeah.
And when I'm traveling to a different country and I'm jamming with the musicians there, we are all, a part of, like we were in Egypt, all of us were there, and some Egyptian musicians hosted us. There was a Grammy winner also, and he was playing his stuff, and you're learning so much.
Definitely.
I know it's YouTube, I know you can get all forms of music you want, but to be there,
to be there in the physical presence,
physical form, like I was in Egypt, I was in Turkey, and South Korea, Russia, Africa. You're interacting with a guy, and you're just trading licks, and you're part of the system.
When you jam or even eat a meal or have a conversation with somebody in real life, you start to sync your breathing with them without knowing, and that starts to sync your heart.
That doesn't happen, man. That's the
that
energy.
doesn't happen online. You know what I mean?
That doesn't happen online. I mean, maybe it does.
Or a fraction of it happens.
Now there's no other choice. I don't know when we're going to travel again next, or when the vaccine comes.
Exactly. But you've traveled a lot of countries, right? Like a lot of different continents.
Many. Every continent except for South America. That's something which is on my bucket list. That's one thing we've not gone to. But apart
it will work out,
Hopefully, yes. But yeah, I mean, from at least the absolute extreme, New Zealand, this side, all the way till Vancouver.
Nice.
So
yeah,
and everything in between. So.
What I'm really drawing from this podcast with you is that the balance between doing the advertising and the film commercial work and the real music or your vibe and the life is between the two. The balancing it's a beautiful thing to talk about.
Art and craft.
Art and craft, exactly. Perfect, man. Because to be honest, when I just do commercial work for others all week, I don't feel like I feel satisfied, but I don't feel that. There's this inner satisfaction कि मैंने कुछ बनाया which I am proud of and I did it for myself.
Exactly.
That's even just building my own website one day, I slept peacefully because I made my website, I presented my stuff in the way I want to on one place. That was more satisfying than doing like very high-paying ad work. I don't know. I love doing the ad paying work. I was able to afford so many things here because of the ad work and I love it. But the way I slept after doing my website and making it live, it was a beautiful journey, or for example, working towards this piece, like now that I sit in the studio, I can make my bass pieces sound even better than I can live. You know what I mean? I can stitch things together. And
so you have your resources. So like I'm saying, there is it's the key word here for and I don't want to sound like Yoda, but the key word here is balance.
Balance.
Balance is the key for all of us, and is the most difficult thing to achieve, and not everybody has achieved a state of balance. Something which we are always constantly trying to achieve is this
Right.
balance, right? So balance of work life, family life, being a parent, being a musician, being a son to somebody, um, also doing ad work, also doing band work, also doing your own thing. Like I just started an alter ego of mine called La Groovy, because
Sorry, can you spell that
it's
as
called
for us?
LAGRUVA. It's like a
Nice.
2.5 minutes of feel good electronica music,
Where do
which
we
is gonna
find
come
this?
out.
On YouTube or
It'll
where?
be out. It'll be out soon. I've just
Guys,
the
look
first.
forward to that.
Yeah.
Go. I think after this, if you can just make an empty channel, we'll all go subscribe to it. So when it loads,
Yeah, it's out good. I just took it out on Spotify, and I was just messing around with my laptop and some use sounds, and I
nice.
didn't use the keyboard at all. It was just the on
Looking
Logic Pro
forward to
easy.
it. Beautiful.
So I like doing that kind of stuff, and I'm not doing it either for fame or for fortune. It's just I just want to
It's
put it
just
out there.
expressing yourself, right?
I'm
And
just expressing myself, man,
with the
and it's
new
just there. So
sounds.
yeah, I keep on doing all that. So for me, there is
Nice.
no genre which. So it's important to do that at the same time, and at the same time, I'm also pitching to big companies for to do better work, more work. Hey, come on,
Yeah.
you know, I need a couple
There-
of more bases, so I need money.
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And there is a sense of pride towards if you make some music for like a Airtel or a Honda or whatever or a Nokia. So
It is. It feels good. It feels
it
good when you
feels
see
good,
your work
definitely.
and it's there. You're getting a haircut and your ads are playing there.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good fun. I did a feature film also. I did not one but 3-4 feature films also. OB
Sweet.
those also came out. So it's a
Well, those were songs, background score, everything. What?
yes. I did a track. Did a feature film, small indie feature film called Listen Amaya with Farooq Sheikh, Deepti Naval, Swarab Bhaskar.
It's
Uh,
beautiful. Wow.
Lovely movie done by friends, Avinash and Geeta, the director, producer, husband,
Awesome.
wife.
Awesome.
And I was interacting with Farooq Sheikh at that particular point of time a lot, and he was an amazing human being, and we lost him
That
too soon.
shit. Yeah. Lots of
Uh,
learning there, right? I'm like,
yeah, and when you get to
yeah.
score I have done features, but I've done given only one song. This was like
Yeah.
all 4 songs and the
All of
whole
it. Yeah.
BGM. And when you have actor, like there is this, I hope I'm not exceeding, when you have Farooq Sheikh and
Sure.
Deepti Naval talking to each other in a
Right.
scene, you're freaking scared. Like, ek note bhi dabaunga, to the performance is so intense.
Yeah.
So that's when you realize that there is something called spotting when you're doing background score. Spotting is a place as to where to put music and when not to put music, which is equally more important. Because when
Yeah.
there's a performance happening there, you need to be
Spotting session with the director or spotting session
very important.
yourself. Yeah.
Very
Yeah. Very
important.
important.
So he was a first time director too. So we were all trying to, we're learning as we go.
Yeah.
And it's not just any actor or actress. It's Farooq Sheikh and Deepti Naval. They're like freaking legends, man. And
Yeah. Definitely. Don't want to mess with that in a bad way,
petrified to play even one note out there and know what to do.
Yeah.
Somehow, you just get over that and you try and
Yeah.
amazing experience. I would love to do something like that
Nice.
very soon.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's there's a lot of wisdom in knowing where not to play or whatnot, so like where not to feed something. Yeah.
Even when you're playing bass, it's very important to know where to
Same.
play and where not
Yeah.
to
The
play.
spaces, make the groove,
Absolutely, man. So,
Baba Wooten taught us very well. So
Baba
like
Wood.
so man, I don't know how much time you have, but I definitely want to ask you
I
what
have
is
all the time in the world, bro. I've got
nice.
nowhere to go. I can't get out. That building over there, right there, like has been sealed. So I am not going anywhere. Stay at home.
You are in your I wanted to ask you, sorry, what is the one thing that you do tell your kids or you would like to tell your kids in a way that like, what's the wisdom you give them for the future that you would maybe want to share it on the podcast here as well with all the other kids?
I get out of my children's way because they're way more advanced. I don't really give them any wisdom. The only thing I tell them is just learn your manners, be nice to people, be humble and be good human beings. That's more important. Yaar, baki sab hota
Nice.
rahega.
Nice. Yeah, that is true actually,
Learn
which
to
is
learn
key.
to respect
Because-
people, learn to respect everyone.
Nice.
Everybody's fighting their own battle. They might come out as good people or bad people on the face, but everybody's going through their own. There's a backstory to every individual.
Right.
So you have to respect people for who they are, what they do.
Yeah.
Be compassionate. It's always the human element is very important. We are human beings first and foremost, more than anything else.
Definitely.
Being
Definitely true.
the definition of a good human being is pretty much consistent in every scripture or whatever you read. So it's important to be kind and compassionate and just generally be nice. It doesn't cost much. It doesn't
I
take
am
much.
writing this down.
it's, I mean, if it makes sense.
There is one point when I always grab my laptop or my notebook, I start writing things down because that's the stuff, because thing is we work hard, we get egos involved with making music, and then we forget that being nice was the most important thing. That was the primary
I
thing.
mean, ego is it's difficult. It's easier said than done to try and conquer your ego. I mean, we've all had our. I mean, there have been times when I was much younger when I felt really. Sometimes there's a very thin line of difference between ego and pride and
Right.
self-respect. You know, so it's got to be. You got to know where that self-respect bit ends and ego comes in.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
because you shouldn't be putting people down. And I know for a fact I might have put a few people down earlier in my time. I think might have because there was a time when things were getting to you. You know, when you start getting a little more attention than usual, and it sort of start getting to you. I can't even imagine what these big film stars go through. You know, it's so
Yeah,
difficult that I actually sympathize with these really really big celebrities because हम लोग को चार लोग कुछ बोलते हैं हम चढ़ जाते हैं ऐसे and
yeah.
these guys the whole world is putting it's so difficult
To
to
calibrate. Yeah,
to cut that temptation out and be normal. It's very difficult.
right. And
It's not
also,
easy.
like, yeah, please go on.
So I mean, yeah, I mean that's the whole
Right.
point. It's sometimes you have to work at it. Sometimes you have to slap yourself and say, hey, listen, you're just another guy or girl or whatever. I mean, you're just another person. More importantly, just it's just that simple. Just be nice. Doesn't take much. Be nice. Be kind. Be compassionate. Be understanding and be truthful. Very difficult
Yeah.
again. Very difficult.
Be truthful, right?
Yeah, and there's something which happened while you put this thing on Facebook. There
Yeah.
was somebody who contacted me, and hey, where did it go? On Mrigya,
Yeah.
uh, there is a person called Larry Wag.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll show you. He just sent me this. I don't know. I don't know how to react. He is a former infection control nurse at Bharati Hospital and lives in Pune. He's like, can you please dedicate a song to my only baby daughter Abigail as she's undergoing chemotherapy for retinoblastoma, eye cancer,
Oh my God.
and also to my wife as we are going through difficult times. It would mean a lot, a humble request. I have attended your performance in Pune. There was something we did for with Rahul Gandhi in attendance. Not Lakshmi launched, but I'm a nurse.
Can you
Join
just
in.
join in?
So okay. So there's this little baby girl, his daughter. I'll show you this also. So apparently the little baby has eye cancer.
Wow. That's
Larry and Divyani Wag, and it's just right here. So big shout out to them. I'm not somebody. I don't know how I could.
Do you think it's okay if I play Monkey Patang for them?
Oh yes, that'll be nice. Can you do that? Oh great.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can.
So I don't know, Larry.
I've
I'll
been
just
trying to
type here saying we are dedicating a song for Abigail.
Okay, give me a thumbs up if the audio is okay. I've just been able to get back on the laptop. I'm gonna play the song.
मन की पतंगों में सपनों के धागे कुछ यूं ले चले जिंदगी आगे आगे.
Is it okay? Can I go ahead and play the song?
Yes, you could. Audio is a little sketchy, but I guess yes. I'm just typing to them that we're playing a song for them for
Yeah, we
Abigail.
can wait for a second. Yeah. I think my computer crashed last time, so I hope it doesn't do that now. Okay, I'm gonna try and play the song.
Yes, he's online. I think he's
Beautiful.
He's online. So
Hey,
it'll
this
be
is
nice
for
to
you,
do
Larry. We'll do our best right now.
He's online.
Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna hit play.
मन की पतंगों में सपनों के धागे कुछ यूं ले चले जिंदगी आगे आगे
किताब पढ़ने का बाद में करेंगे, पहले लिखने का इंतजाम कर लें।
छछूंदर
उसके सर में चमेली का तेल है, उठाओ।
ये लेनी पड़ेगी।
उठो।
जैज हमारी बुक के लिए टाइटल है फफूंद।
मुझसे भी पहले का मालूम होता ये तो।
ये चलेगी?
इसको थैले में रख के घर चले जाएं तो चलेगी।
खुला आसमां है नहीं मोड़ कोई यहाँ पर हवा का नहीं छोर कोई मैं उड़ती रहूं पंछियों की तरह से उन्हें जान लूं आज उनकी जुबां से खिली धूप की बस्तियों से निकल कर हवा में जैसे बूंदे घटा बन के भागे हाँ मन की पतंगों में सपनों के धागे कुछ यूं ले चले जिंदगी आगे आगे
हाय लीला। हम लोग जा रहे हैं जी पराठे वाली गिरी।
क्या पराठे खाने?
मुर्गियाँ खरीदने और अंडे बेचने। और इससे पहले कि आप पूछे मैं आपको खुद ही बता दूं, आपकी बेटी बहुत मजे में है। बिल्कुल चिंता न करें।
वो चलते चलते ही उठा देंगे लेकर चलते।
आपको पता है जब मैं छोटी थी ना तो हम यहाँ बहुत आया करते थे। This was Appa's favorite Sunday outing. In fact मैंने लिखना भी यही शुरू किया। बिजी बाजार मेरी पहली कहानी जब मैं 9 साल की थी।
दिल में बसा लूं महकते से पल ये कहीं ढल ना जाए बहकते से पल ये इन्हें बंद कर लूं बना के निशानी बयां कर करे यही अपनी कहानी थकी रात की खिड़कियां खटखटा कर धीमी ओस से हर सुबह जैसे जागे हाँ मन की पतंगों में सपनों के धागे कुछ यूं ले चले जिंदगी आगे आगे
Wow. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the song, where the lyrics come from, and
The lyrics was written by my wife Poonam. She writes a lot of stuff for my my song. She writes, is my primary songwriter. So you know, good. So you
really?
Yeah,
Right?
she's quite talented. Does a lot of things. She has a great voice. She's a voiceover artist. She's songs, and you see that painting canvas there. She's starting to paint something there. So it's a creative household. Yeah, it's like madness.
Nice.
So she wrote this song, and it was recorded at Quarter Note Studios. Vidhi Sharma sang that song, and Vidhi's from Delhi. So that's Delhi. It's a Delhi production. Sid Mathur mixed it.
Wow.
Sid actually was there for the whole Listen to My series. Sid Mathur mixed it. There's a friend of mine, friend of ours actually, he's a common friend of, Mrigya's friends. So because of our very frequent tours to UK and Scotland, Edinburgh especially, so the guy who's played the flute, the Celtic flute, is being played by a guy, a fantastic musician, a person called Ross Ainsley. So Ross is a very dear friend. So he recorded this from Glasgow and sent it to me.
Oh my God, that's so
So
sweet.
I wanted to get that real Celtic feel to it. It's got it's got a beautiful, uplifting something about the Celtic music. It's beautiful, uplifting music. So I mean, it's a privilege. Ross is phenomenal talent. He plays the bagpipes, Celtic whistle, plays the guitar, sitar. So I just called him up and said, "Bro, you want to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, cool, man." So he just gave it to me. Vidhi Sharma, like I mentioned the name, she sang this song. She sang a lot of jingles for me. So Vidhi's still Delhi based.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine called Nitish Kumar, he did the final mastering, I think.
Nice.
On this. So Nitish did again the final process. So yeah.
How long does it take to get the lyrics from the point you have lyrics that you want to work with to the point you get maybe approval or you get the master? I mean,
so this was very, the good part was Avinash and I were the director, Avinash Kumar Singh, and I we connected at a very very beautiful level. It was almost like we were alter egos of each other.
Wow.
I mean, I would really get excited with what he would. So it was like a very nice music director relationship where we were creating stuff for the film. It was not.
Mm-hmm.
It was all of us were working towards, and that picture was very. We were seeing the same thing and hearing the same thing.
Wow.
So the approvals bit was not really like in question. We would just be like, "Oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Oh, can we do it like this? Can we do it like this?" Blah, blah, blah. So it's very quick. So it was almost like Avinash was as much a part of the process as I was a part of the process of the film. So Listen Amaya became our film, and for me that film is as much my film as it is to. I mean, I feel that way as it is. It is like a very beautiful journey. It's
experience,
so
right? That's
amazing amount of experience. It was not a financially very big thing. We were working with limited resources, but there was a lot of drive and it's just when my first proper full-length feature film with BGM had Farooq Sheikh and Deepthi Naval, in the key.
Mm-hmm.
It takes it is a blessing that not everybody gets a start like that. When you're the highest level of performances are happening and you're able to score to that, it's just a blessing. And when Farooq Saab himself liked the song, then he said, it's really nice. It was like, hey, it's amazing. The sad part was they didn't have enough budgets to promote this music on radio or any other format.
It's a beautiful song. I heard it before this session. I was going through things that I wanted to play.
But it never played on radio. It never saw any kind of playing, and because it didn't have the backing of any of the big labels, it came out on HMV, but it didn't have like a star kind of a thing, or it didn't have. And sometimes then you realize how the internals of these things work. You need to have a promotion, and it requires money or contacts, or you have to be a part of a certain. So that's all. I mean, that's something which is beyond our control. Our job is to create something good, put it out there.
Yeah. It's always like we don't know where it's going to end up. So often as artists, we never think about it from that perspective. Most of the time, we don't know if it's going to get promotion in the end or not. We just give it what we
give it our best shot. It's just a part of our soul.
It's a part of your soul. Yeah, exactly.
That's about it. So for me, this has always been very special. It's not like a hit Gana banana type. It's just a nice experience. There's a lot of beautiful moments captured at that particular point of time, and I'm glad it happened. I'm still very proud of that work. A lot of reviews, critical reviews, very good critical reviews.
And film and music. Yeah. I kind of like. I think someone might steal it if I leave it here, but I will leave it here. It's okay. Someone should steal it. I was almost gonna. I thought if I ever write a book, it will be called "And Then One Thing Led to Another." So, and how you would do this movie, you don't know what happens, because you've done this movie. So like. Yeah, so Larry, that was for you. I hope I shared the audio okay. I don't know if it was going through the stream. I hope it was okay. I did use the opportunity to go turn on my Wi-Fi and turn it off. So
and I really hope, being a parent, I can't even imagine the kind of trauma, when you see your little child suffer. It's just...
Man, that is...
Yeah. I mean, it's just
It touches a nerve with all of us
I've had my younger
in a
son
profound way.
I've had my younger son in an ICU for a few days, and people couldn't diagnose what is wrong with him. So he had a very rare condition called Kawasaki syndrome, where the body's antibodies start fighting their own self, and it was a nightmare. I remember.
Wow.
You just as a parent, you can't see your child suffer at that level.
It's hard.
So it's really hard, and I really hope that Abigail gets through this and she's back out quickly, and you guys are able to...
I'll pray for her. My dad got a lymphoma, and it was like stage 4, grade 4 from the start. The moment we found out, it's one of the reasons why I live at home as well, because he's right here now, so I can, because it's also the way it works on the mind, as a parent, as a child, as a family member, what it does to you is not just physical, so I mean, our prayers are with you. I mean, it can be tough, but I guess like we gotta be tougher, and then we work it out,
and always hope for the best. I mean,
always hope for the best.
Always hope for the best. I do believe in a higher spiritual power, and I do believe that it's I mean,
man, like if everyone watching right now and anyone who watches later, if everyone sends out like a little prayer for the girl, like
for all
that could be worth taking this moment. And thank you for writing in, I mean, thank you for writing to Neil. And
it was just cool, man. So it's getting dark here. I haven't pushed on the
we're losing lighting at your end. I did go run to the Wi-Fi, turn it on, turn it off, come back, check the network, and like I think we might just be doing a little bit better now. I'm able to stream and things like that. Okay, so just like let's find like a fun thing to close with if possible. And are you like, so there's that other alter ego music that's going to come up. Can I type that into the chat? So that the name and stuff is there all the time.
I'll show it to you. Wait. It's
my mom's there. She's saying audio is okay. That's so sweet.
Great. So it's called La Groove. LAGRUV.
La Groove. Okay.
E with that little thing on top.
Yeah.
What do you call it? I've forgotten. And this is the cover art. This is designed by my elder son.
Nice. It is bouncing back though.
Oh, sorry. So
like it is tricky. Yeah. It's tricky. Yeah. You have to lower the. Yeah. Oh, I see it in the chat. It's fine. Yeah, up there.
You can see yourself also. Can you now?
Yeah.
So that's that. So it's gonna come out. It's there on my Facebook page.
Nice.
So just a very funky,
sweet,
just 2.5 minutes of just some fun. You can just put it on and dance if you want to. It's that
I
kind
hope
of
there
music.
will be more of those tunes.
Oh yeah. This is I'm gonna try putting out stuff every week because it takes some time when you put it out on onto the streaming platforms. It takes about 8 to 10 days to come out.
8 10 days. Yeah. So you've already sent it to
it's out. Yeah, it just went out for distribution 2 days ago. So I guess.
So you have a release date?
I don't know, man. I didn't plan.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
so like, okay, guys, a 10-day period at max, and you will.
Yes, it'll be out there on my Facebook page for sure, and I'll also.
I will share it. I will share it on my social media. Any other ads or films or any songs that tunes that might come out this year that we could look forward to? Anything in the works right now?
Lot of ads come out.
Okay.
But I'm not very comfortable about.
Sharing. Okay, cool. वो काम होता है. Well, if you put them on your Facebook page, which you sometimes share when you feel like it.
Sometimes I do. So I told you about that V-Mart you wanted to share at that point in time. Maybe that was something which I sang. I was pretty proud of that because.
Which one is that?
That Bengali jingle which you liked also. That,
I loved it. It was so sweet,
that's me playing everything, all live, no programming, all guitar, bass, singing, and everything. And there was another girl singer who would come, Chandray. She had come in and she did the part, and the rest of it was just the acoustic bass and everything was live.
Wow.
the click. So it just happened. It was not supposed to be like a very major project, but sometimes it was just fun. And my mother being Bengali, I always wanted to sing in Bengali, you know. So I'm like, hey, this is a chance, I'll sing it. And
It's
I sang it,
brilliant.
got approved, and I'm like, yeah, it's out. So it's nice. That was one, and the Tanishq ads were nice. Tanishq ads were nice. I did some very funny Saif Ali Khan ads, which were directed by Shiraz. For Carlsberg, just some Tuborg ads. There's been a lot of
Lots
stuff.
to learn from those, actually. Like I sat down, I heard them all over week. You might be getting notifications. Varun is following you here. He's following you there. Maybe you
Actually,
saw that. I
sorry,
don't know.
but I
Like,
you know,
yeah,
the
yeah,
my Vimeo notification, a lot
yeah.
of, they're all off.
Nice. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I do my
I
work
was,
and
yeah.
I dissociate from them.
I was wondering if it's weird that I'm following you one by one in all the
No, it's okay.
locations
It's
where I can
okay.
find your music, you know.
I don't go with all that, and
Great.
it's I mean, if it helps anybody looking at
Yeah.
my stuff and just makes life easier for them, why not? It's just
Yeah. I might even like play 3 of those before I close the session after I say goodbye to you. I might be like, okay, now I think I can try it. I hope the audio will be fine. Like I hope the thing is fine because I'm using my grandmother's Wi-Fi right now. So like, yeah, from a whole different floor and everything. But
Super.
yeah, it's okay.
I'm sure she won't mind.
She gave me the password, so like, you know, yeah, she's my grandma, so like it
Is
should be
that a
okay.
Sire you're using at the back?
Oh yeah, that is a Sire. Actually, my base is in Kuala Lumpur, the headless one. I went back to the maker.
Oh, it went back to the maker.
I asked for an ebony fretboard instead of a maple one. I started slapping less, and I wanted more fingerstyle grunt. And I sent it, and coronavirus happened. Couldn't get it back. So a friend of mine has lent me the Sire. It's
That's
like
a V7, is it? Or a
yeah, I
P?
think it's a V7. I have 2 bases actually.
Oh, it's a sweet one.
Let
It's
me.
an ash body.
I can quickly go grab it if
Sorry,
you
I
want.
mean, bass geeks, man. Come on, you see
Yeah, one
something,
second. I'll grab it. Yeah. I'll get both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks
One
like
sec.
a V7.
Let me
Ash body.
not get the headphones. Okay, hi. So,
Yeah.
okay, this is I think a V7.
V7 ash body.
Yeah, it's an ash body.
Maple
Neck, maple board. So slap bass delight.
Nice.
It's so active that it needs 2 batteries.
Yeah, I know. I've been wanting to get myself a Cyrus bean, but then it's like I have been wanting to get one more bass, but for me it's been like you were asking me about the fretless bass also, and then the thing went sideways. The connection went off. So I've always been a very biased towards the Fendery kind of a tone. So it's been the Warwick or the Fender for me, but I have a Squier that music video sort of a Squier fretless bass, and it looked exactly like the Jaco Pastorius 1962 jazz bass. So I bought it, without even thinking twice. I'm like, it was cheap, it was fretless, and it had the Jaco vibe, and I plugged it in, and you're like,
The one you have sounds really good. I think you make it sound good, Like the one you have.
They're good basses. Squires are very good basses. I mean, there are. I have done so much work with that, and I've played Fenders as well as Squires. I've played other people's basses also. It's cool. Every instrument and every company, they have it's their own vibe. You need to catch on to that vibe, and then ride it. So Sires, I found the Sires very, very ballsy. It's got that whole Marcus thing, like.
Yeah, man, that's a great bass.
Tone.
Like, yeah, I mean, this kind of a bass at that price point is amazing. But this is a vintage sort of a 80s, 90s sort
RBX PJ pickup combination.
It's the old RBX. It's called the Super Medium Series. This is 32 inches in scale length.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's from the 90s. It's got one of those, like Japanese construction with metal.
Oh yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, it's a very interesting bass. I wanted.
How does the neck hold up to the Delhi climate?
I've never had to set it up.
Super, just like my Warwick. I've never set it up
once. Solid as hell. Like.
Yeah, these are Yamaha basses are very good. I've always Naresh was playing a TRB for a while, and I tried his bass a couple of times. An amazing instrument.
This is the mother of one of the older RBXs.
I used to like RBX. I had a thing for that. I'm wanting to buy a Nathan East BB series NE5. I used to like that kind of Nathan East tones also. But then I somehow just never got around to buying any other bass.
Yeah,
Just
the
two
Warwick.
basses.
Well, the Warwick, the sound is so powerful. You don't have to be fighting to be heard as a bass player. You don't.
Yeah, and it had that. It would do its job in the studio as well as I
Yeah.
would tour with it. I have toured with it so many countries, so many different situations and conditions, and I never had to set it up.
Wow.
So it's just take it out. It still stays in tune. I remember we changed 2 flights, 3 flights actually. At that point, there was no direct flight to New Zealand. This was 2005, was it? Or 4. So Delhi to Singapore, Singapore to Auckland to Wellington. Take the bass guitar out of the case and you plug it in, and it's there. It's pretty much there in tune. Nothing is happening. Like, not bad.
That is a fortunate base to have. Okay, so we are losing light.
Losing the light. I can
Weird.
actually go and switch it on, but then
No, it's okay. We can close this at the bass guitar note. I mean, if you could grab your bass, that would be fun as well. But I think we have no light. So, like, do you want to grab it? Do you want to slap something or?
I can't plug in here because that's in the other room. But I can show you the bass. I can
sure.
give me a.
Sure. Yeah, take your time.
Switch on the light.
Guys, thank you for sticking around. We just turned into bass players who want to like show basses because we don't have the thing to plug them in right now. So if that happened, this was fun. Okay, we got Neil bringing in his bass. Oh wow, that's a legendary bass. And that's like a real bass, guys. Like, it's a massive, like, oh, sweet. It's a thumb. It's called a thumb.
This is the. Let me just put my headphones on.
Yeah, you can plug them out if you want.
The fretless one is outside. So this is the Warwick, and it's. I bought it in 1999.
Wow. New?
And new from Danby Goods, New York, and.
Yeah. Good shout out to Dana. They
been-
gave me my MTD Kingston endorsement, that
Oh, yeah?
yeah, they're sweet people.
MTD, yeah, Danby Goods, good guys, and this is. So it has a pretty, like now. Oh, this is a bass geek thing.
It's a real bass, yeah. It's a thick, like,
It's a pretty thick neck. So a lot of people, and the action is also pretty not like too close. It's a little high up. So even if you're playing like really fast and you're doing your sweeps and also, I can do it on this bass.
you have to put in the hard work.
No, as in it's whatever.
I feel like getting my bass and then we can have like a
Yeah, but it's
slap.
not plugged in, so
acoustic slap battle. Okay, so we're starting to diverge. Is that the word, indulge?
yeah. So it does diverge to whatever it is. But I don't know if you can hear it. It just sounds very weird and floppy. So it's just like
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can hear,
it's,
you can hear the string rattle.
that's all. So it's like a 5-piece
Wow.
Bubinga Venje neck. This body is it's a 2-piece. It's a wood called Ovongo call.
Nice.
MEC J pickups, and if you see the pickups, they're unlike the regular J where you have one close to the fretboard to the neck. Both the pickups are pushed a little towards the bridge side. That
Or the
gives it
growl.
a little extra the growl. Yeah. So, but strangely, you can also simple things. It's got a stacked. This is a stacked
Bass
bass
treble.
treble.
Yeah.
That's it. Bass treble, which I keep the bass all the way up at treble half.
Okay.
And this is a pan pot.
Yeah.
And this is the volume, and it's got a active passive push pull pot. So you can push pull, and just got this little thing you can just take out with your. You don't need any screwdrivers. You can just take it out.
Nice.
Put single 9-volt battery.
Nice.
Simple bolt-on neck.
Bolt-on?
So you have the thumbs which are neck through also. They are 26 frets. This is a 24. So neck through Warwicks are 26 frets. I think Carl Peters had one, which is neck through. So,
Yeah, Carl has a lot of Warwicks.
He's endorsed by Warwick.
He had 6 Warwicks when I visited.
Yeah, he's endorsed by Warwick. So
He had Warwicks with Nordstrands. He had
yeah, so
Warwicks
he
with
had the Warwick to the Nordstrand pickups
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah.
Though I'm also gravitating a lot. I'm just going back into the for me right now. Maybe the next purchase would be like a very standard passive, a good quality American professional or an American player Fender Jazz or a Fender P.
Get this.
So that would probably be my next purchase.
You
because-
want a sire. I am telling you right now.
I've had my sights in the Sire as well. For all
Yeah.
you know, I might buy the Sire as well. So
Sire, they're making new series of basses as well. Like there's newer
the
stuff that are
V10s have come in.
Yeah.
The V10s and the P10s are there, which is a P and a J pickup.
Yeah.
I'm always surfing about stuff, and I also like the new Ibanez EHB ones with Nordstrands.
Wow.
That's
Sweet.
also coming out. So those are pretty cool. And so they look very out of the world fan frets. So
Yeah.
very close to the Strandbergs.
Yeah.
But Ibanez is. I used to have an Ibanez many years ago. We've all had Ibanez, I guess. So you can't go wrong with them.
Right.
Ibanez. You can't go wrong with this. There's a basic quality which they have. It gets the job done.
Right.
You know, I always like the sound gear basses, also the SRs. Only the knobs were a little fiddly. My problem with the Sires is that it just got too many knobs and too many settings.
Yeah, I don't touch them.
Yeah, so for me, I like my Warwick is just they're stacked, so maybe it doesn't look as. And I don't use too much of outboard gear either. I mean, I don't have there's that 1 foot pedal for that's an octave. So I don't use any external compressor or I just go straight into the amp. I have a few preferred amp heads, which I like to use. So
what's your favorite amp head?
I like the Ampeg SVT, man.
Nice.
Just because my bass is a sort of modern sounding bass, but the Ampeg SVT, the big ones, they have that little vintage growl to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I could get that if I want to do a really funky Fender PE kind of a groove, I can do that. At the same time, if the Warwick needs to sing and get out the growl, the Ampeg sort of fits both.
It's a warm sounding amp, like
the hard Ks also are amazing. This was the HA5000. What is
the
this?
HA5000 and the 25.
Those have been very good. I've also used Mark basses. I've used SWRs. I've used Trace Elliott's.
What's the bass amp and cabinet on your Tech Rider?
My Tech Rider would be it's usually combos. I try, but obviously the 10-inch. Either the 4x10 usually, but I like to have a 4x10 would be first preference is always between an Ampeg or a hard K.
Right.
If I don't have that, I've used the SWR Goliath series also on a couple of shows. Phenomenal for bigger venues.
Yeah.
I have had the Trace Elliott also. I don't know the names.
Wow.
I don't know the names, but I've used Trace Elliott's also. But always between the Ampeg and the hard K.
And what's your go-to combo at home? Like what amp do you have?
I don't have any amp at home.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why you said you could not play as well, right?
No, I have a Stranger from the Orange Street days, and I love that amp to bits. It's lying at Shiraz Bhattacharya's practice pad. I think it we went to jam, it didn't work there, and I've kept it there only. I've had it for a long time, and I love that Stranger sound. Sharat has used that for violin recordings also. It's an amazing amp, it's an Indian amp, Calcutta made. It's got MOSFET technology in it, and it sounds great for home practice. Amazing sound, little thing.
Wow. Multi-purpose,
that
right?
I was looking at picking up an HD15, but otherwise I usually always play my bass through my general monitors at home, through the Logic, through the sound card. Right. And I almost always do not plug in when I'm practicing.
Yeah?
No, I hardly practice, and when I practice, I'm just picking
Grab
it up.
The bass.
So I feel the notes.
And the Warwick has a very nicely resonating sort of a body.
So does the Squire, man.
Yeah, that's a good bass.
It's just I don't really. And then I have this little the Vox plug-in thing where you just plug in the headphones on the Vox.
Yeah.
A headphone amp, and for me that's good enough. anyways, it's a household with kids, and you have the wife and you have the maid.
Right,
You can't just
right.
go be playing bass like for 2 hours and stuff. And people are like, so I get into my little, late at night when everybody's sleeping, I might just be watching a Netflix series and just getting my hands out. Frankly, I haven't practiced properly for almost 15 years now, like the way I used to practice.
Man, wow. But you still do a maintenance routine of some musical shape because you still, it gets rusty, right?
I'm always rusty. My sound is rusty. I don't do any maintenance routines, nothing. It's just I just pick it up when I have a gig. Like if I have a Mrigya gig coming up, maybe a couple of days before that, I'll just do a little bit of my warming up exercises.
Yeah. Right.
2 days, man, and then once you're on stage, it's on. It's just on. I don't know how it happens. We've been lucky so far. But
Okay,
I've
any
never
advice?
really-
What's your mindset when you hold the whole audience to yourself alone? You do your solo bit where you do vocals, you make them sing, you play bass, you're doing grooving. Is there like a method to that madness, or you improvise? You have a structure? Like,
It's just if I
what's the
think
most
about it,
important thing? Melody, groove? What?
I don't know, man. It's
How do you
like
do it?
I don't really think about it much. It just comes.
Okay, how did it happen the
It's
first
like an
time?
out of body experience.
And that's a whole thing. It's also
my stage persona is very different from what I am off stage. When I'm there, it's I have to do justice to the explaining the band's music, and Mrigya, as you know, has musicians who are each extremely powerful, and they as musicians, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm Sharad, Rajat, Karan, Gyan, Sukriti, Jatinder, Sachin. They all. Every
Phenomenal
person in that band can hold an audience alone.
alone, yeah.
It's a privilege to play with these guys. So for me to be the front man and explain and set the stage literally for the next song, which is basically it's a huge responsibility. It just happened because when the first gig happened, they're like, maybe I went on stage, they're like, bolega kaun? And they're like, tu bol.
It's always
you can speak. So I say, yeah, I mean, BC to मैं कर ही सकता हूँ तो कर दिया. I gave all the name. And in Orange Street, I never was the front man. I was always, Ban was this powerful band. There was Chima, there was Ashwini, and I was just stay at the back and do backing vocals. But when I started speaking on stage and I started introducing the band, then that became an act by itself, and I started developing that. It felt good. It felt really good. You feel powerful.
right.
It's a good ego massage, and that's scary because you get addicted to that. So, but then you realize when you're on stage, the switch is on. When you're off stage, the switch is off. You go back and do your thing, and that's it. You need to separate that. You cannot be what you're on stage, off stage. And for me, it doesn't work that way. So that happened, and then I started. My vocabulary started expanding because I was trying to transcribe a lot, and then of course, you practice your chops and speed things, and your arpeggios and what have you.
Right.
Speed licks. But I was really interested in. I saw Richard Bonner doing this, the scat thing, and there's something which he does which I can't do, and I'm trying to do. That is, when you're playing a line, not only are you scatting along with the line, he's singing the harmony with his voice, and he's playing the line on the bass. It's mad.
That's an alien thing to do, man. How does he do it?
It's like a drummer's, complete independence. This is playing 5, this is playing 7, this is playing 6, and that the kick is playing a 4/4, and they all meet somewhere. I mean, the cool drummers, they know how to do that. But for a bass player, you're playing that. You're playing a line, and you're playing.
We always play one bass line, right?
And playing one bass line, and then suddenly when you're getting, from this part, when you come here, it's like, oh, okay, and you're like, and then you're here, and you're absolutely down here. They're like, what? And you have these so many things to do right here. It's like you've got literally 3 octaves of gazillion notes and gazillion permutations and combinations, and you have everything. So it's your vocabulary. The bass is not the limiting factor. It is your own vocabulary which is limiting. So I started expanding my vocabulary, and one fine day with Mrigya, it's like, theek hai, chalo. The band likes to experiment. So
and it's your band, right? You feel at home as well.
Yeah, and it's Mrigya. It's not really. It's my band, yes, but it's a team.
As in, yeah, it's your band. As in, it's one of the bands that you feel you belong
Yeah,
in.
it's my band.
Like,
I mean,
yeah,
that way, yeah, it is my
yeah,
band.
that
Mrigya
way.
is my band.
Not in a
My
controlling way.
band. Yeah,
I
we're all
mean
we're all a part of the. It's
Yeah.
like a family. You know, it's
Exactly.
my family. So
Yeah.
rather than that, so I'm part of that family, and we get to do what we want to do. Nobody stops you. मेरे को
Yeah.
ये करना है कर
Huh.
और कर. You know, मैं
Yeah,
cigarette
I think
पीके
Karan
आता
is
हूँ.
doing amazing things. Phenomenal guitar player, but he also gets the space to go
Yeah, so
somewhere else.
important thing is to give the musician the space. We can have a phenomenal guitar player with you, and if he doesn't get to do his thing, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know,
What do you think is the future for like the gigs and bands coming up, like the people who are 18 right now forming their bands? मतलब हमें नहीं पता उनके लिए क्या फेस्टिवल होने वाला है मतलब like I think it'll all go back and we will
I think
all
we shouldn't worry about the future. You know, let the people who are gonna go there, they're gonna form the. See, the world changes. The world is what? It's the people.
Yeah.
It's their time. You know,
Yeah.
हमारा time था, अभी है, फिर किसी
Yeah.
और का होगा. So
I
it will
feel-
all go on changing,
Yeah.
and it's something. I think what is more important for us, rather than worrying about the future, it's rather than accepting the fact that
Definitely.
things are gonna change.
I feel
It will always change.
I
It has
feel
been.
because back in the day, you all could not create from different places. Now the bands, even if there was a band 6 months back, and now they live in different cities
I
because
mean,
of the
you and
lockdown.
I could just plug in and jam right
We
now.
can play music. Yeah, I can make something in Logic, send it over to you. You put
Absolutely.
something on top of it. So I feel the bands now, at least the minimum they can do is make a lot of records right now. You know, just like tune after tune. You know?
It is. I mean, they should, and
Like you
I
can
don't-
program programming drums now. If you don't have a kid, you're stuck at home. As a drummer, you can really learn programming. I mean,
yeah, the poor drummers were the first guys to get the axe after, and then the bass players. You know, who need drummers and bass players? Just program the damn thing.
yeah.
Even
But I'm
keyboard
just saying
and-
now drummers are also learning to program from home because they're stuck at home. They don't have a kid, but they have musical ideas, you know. So they just and when the drummers start programming drums, they start programming guitar parts. They're like bass parts, whatever synths.
That's something. Yeah. So I mean, I have no comment on this because I'm as much a bystander as you are, and
Yeah.
I'm seeing this happen, and I'm seeing it happen with like wide eyes, and like every time when the new people, I wouldn't call them kids. I would
Yeah.
call them the younger lot. They're coming up with
Yeah.
some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much to learn from that also. And
Man, yeah.
And me, being where I have my experience, but at the same time, you see these kids coming up with some really cool ideas and some cool stuff, and you like to know more about how that's happening and keep yourself abreast. It keeps the fire burning, man.
Definitely, man.
It's great. It's
I
great.
think-
Whatever's happening is great, man.
I think amazing things are going to come out very soon, and they're
Always,
happening right now. You know,
Always.
Sid says that Stranger is great. Sid, I'm so happy you're still watching, man. This is so amazing to have you. I think it's time to do a podcast with Sid. You
You
know?
should. The
Yeah.
man has.
It's just. I'm gonna write to you, Sid, and then
You
I
should
hope
do a
you make it.
podcast with Sid. I'm sure he's
Yeah,
got some
and
amazing insights.
I don't know if it was courageous or stupid to say it out loud on the internet.
Oh, say
right
it, say
now,
it
but
out loud. He's an amazing musician, a great guy. And Sid, the moment the lockdown is over, we are meeting at Mada.
Oh, nice.
So we have to. It's been a while.
Mud में बहुत सारे अच्छे bass players हैं, so it's a nice place to go. You know?
I think.
And drummers and musicians, it's just
Mud has got
Mud has
and
got
actors,
vibes, yeah.
actresses, and directors. It's like a lot of the
Yeah.
industry people are that side, but
Yeah.
it's quite an ordeal to reach that place.
It is. Yeah, crossing that boat
Especially
in the
for me.
rain is the ferry in the rains when it's bouncing, man. And guys like Saurabh and Manas and all, they would do it with the bass in their back and stuff. And I'm like, pata nahi kaise bhai, matlab. Yeah.
No, I went once. I drove, and it took me 3 hours all the way.
Yeah, you go all the way around.
It's
Yeah.
like, kahan aa gaya main?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm in Andaman. That weird feel when you're driving.
Yeah, when we met in Andheri, I almost felt like you had to come all the way, and I think you were picking up a guitar or something, but it was you drove a long
I
day.
think I was picking up the guitar from Gavin.
You were,
I
and
was
you were
picking
in
up the
Thar.
guitar from
You were in
Gavin.
Thar for something, and you came down to Andheri to pick up the
Yeah,
guitar.
I wanted to just try his Martin
was-
out for something.
that was a
because
long drive, you know.
I hadn't completely bought my gear from Delhi, so
Yeah.
I wanted an acoustic which I could plug in. So Gavin was kind enough to.
Yeah. But imagine driving up to Mud for you would be madness. Like it's like
I did it once. I did once to meet a director.
Yeah.
It was not a very fruitful meeting, but the drive was like, "Acha ji." It's
3
like,
hours. 3
yeah,
hours.
I mean, I could have reached Rishikesh from Delhi in the drive.
or go up from your place, like
Not really Goa. It's quite distant.
long stretch.
Quite distant.
Okay,
Long.
pretty cool.
Pune,
But yeah, like
definitely.
yeah, that's a thing to do. Like to be honest, as soon as the lockdown ends, I'm coming to Bombay to meet all my friends. I want to meet my, because also it kicks me a little bit to get better with my production, to get better with my mixing. When you are around people who are working in the industry, Delhi is still a comfort zone. There, it's like kicking. Okay, the sounds.
Yeah,
have,
you put it bang on as Delhi
Yeah.
is comfort zone. Bombay, it's you don't get too comfortable. You have to be on your toes all the time.
And I think you got that early on. Playing in a band with someone like a Saibal is gonna be kicking. Like you have to be spot on. Like and then like yeah. So
which you don't.
yeah.
And even with Ashwini, for that matter.
Even yeah.
With Ashwini, for that matter, you have we would play, and then I've played with people like Josh and Sharat, Kyad, Sachin, all of them, man.
Yeah, definitely.
They've all been amazing learning experiences to play with these guys. Even though they're my contemporaries and bandmates, but there's a learning experience always. So much.
And yeah, I think it was awesome to explore your journey, and in bits and pieces we digress, we go here and there, but there was
2.5 hours and counting, man. That's the long
we
chat.
can go on. I just feel that we should just do another one after 6 months instead of going for longer, I think we can chat.
Part 1, part 2.
This will become a one-on-one thing very soon. So
I'm actually, I was supposed to shift to a slightly better place with a better setup, but that had stopped because of the lockdown. Because so I wanted to have a proper den with my gear and stuff.
Nice.
So my recording gear is there, but then getting all the guitars in one room and then hooking them up, I wanted to get that kind of setup.
And ready to go. So where are you building that place? Is it close to home? Is it in home? Is it outside?
No, I'm trying to shift to a bigger apartment. I'm here very close because my parents live in the building right next to me.
Yeah.
So I'm close to my dad. That was the reason why I came here. Because I wanted to be close to my parents now. But I will explore now that I know everything around here. I'll probably go to a bigger place. And the kids are growing up. Yeah, he's the younger one is a musician in his own right. He needs his room. The elder one needs his room. My wife paints and does stuff. She needs a room. I need mine.
Sweet.
So we all need a slightly more. And हम दिल्ली वाले हैं, we need more bigger places.
And or Bombay. Exactly, that's true. And Bombay में घर ढूंढना सबसे काम मिल जाता है, घर नहीं मिलता. So like it's gonna be fun. And
Navi Mumbai school. It's not technically Bombay per se. I'm in Navi Mumbai, so it's a beautiful place. I've got waterfalls and I've got hills and like just getting out 2 minutes and you can see the Kharghar mountain range and beautiful golf course here. It's quite
exciting.
Yeah,
so good luck.
Yeah,
man. I was just saying, it's fun exploring this thing. I hope you find a beautiful new house after the lockdown. I hope the lockdown ends soon, and we can all just start jamming again and things like that.
Good fun catching up, man. I accessed some memories which I had forgotten myself. So
that was the idea. But thank you for giving us over 2 hours, man. This was awesome.
Today I was free and really, I said, got nowhere to go.
No, but seriously, I really appreciate the time. And the thing is, a few people watch it right now. A lot of people watch it over the week, and then I get messages, dude, ye kaise kiya? Or who, we're learning so much from this conversation, and that's when it feels like this is worth it. Because, man. This is what we need to hear: the journey, the inspiration, the first gig, the reactions. So I mean, I'm so happy you took out the time for.
No, it's great, man. It's like literally catching up with a friend over a cup of coffee. 2-3 घंटा तो चला ही जाता है. So if there are people who are eavesdropping into the conversation, it's great. I mean, it's nice.
Our flight भी miss नहीं हुआ इस चक्कर में.
Sid Mathur सुन रहा है? Is he here? Ask him about this.
If we do this, we will talk about the flight, and I'll get more juicy details from him as well. And this will be fun.
He knows Mrigya very well. So anyways.
All right, man.
Good night,
fun.
and
Good fun.
thank you
Take care.
so much.
God bless.
Please. Thank you,
Yes.
man. This was
Cheers,
awesome.
man. Please. Pleasure's mine too.
Beautiful.
Bye-bye.
We will meet in person when virus allows us.
Sure,
When
sure,
life
sure.
allows
Do
us
drop
to do
in.
this. I mean, I definitely want to like give you a big hug in person. You know, so like,
Man.
yeah. I mean, the last time I saw you, it was in Bombay, so I'll see you in Bombay again. You know.
Oh, I might just come to Delhi very soon. I don't know.
And this is love. It costs more than. ये तो होता है. Flight miss करोगे तो ये होता है. But then, well, you guys stayed together.
Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always good fun. Always. This is what makes such memorable discussion also. Memories.
Beautiful. Okay. Man, this was one of the more like one-on-one sort of personal podcasts. This is so awesome, you know, like.
Pleasure's mine. I mean, it's good fun. It's been nice talking to you and catching up. Okay.
All right. I will say some closing word. Yeah. 5 people who are live right now. अब सब चले गए हैं तभी मैं सोच रहा हूँ lights बंद होने वाली है club की अभी ना. So like yeah, we went on for a while, man. But yeah.
Chalo.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Take care.
Have a great time, man. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. So guys, if you're still watching, thank you for staying. I do this just for record keeping of musicians in their lives and getting some inspiration, learning about, getting some tips and some trades and some tricks and some stuff that you might not even think that will happens. So that's about it. Next Sunday, again, 5 o'clock, every Sunday, 5 o'clock, we will just chat. You can be a part of it. I'm so happy you saw it till the end. Thank you. Good night. Have a sweet Sunday ahead. Bye.